it that badly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help me help you. So anyway, so I didn't see it when it happened, but of course, Jimmy Butler going down to a torn ACL. So that gives the Warriors 3 choices, basically. Does it not? One is you wave the white flag, say, we're going to use this the rest of this year as a gap year. Does not appear like they have any interest in doing that. Option 2, you turn to the 7th pick in the 2021 draft and say, all right, kid, we've had some, ups and downs here, but Jimmy Butler's out, so now we need you. I know Anthony Slater today on ESPN, he said he was reporting that the Warriors have reached out to Kuminga. Sorry.
Complete waste of everybody's time.
But this is different, though. This is different.
Yeah, I
think
guess you're right.
Today is literally and Jay helped lay out the rules. Something different goes down.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is
close.
completely different.
It's close because they haven't actually. Well, okay.
No, this is completely different to me.
Yeah, so that would be option 2. I don't think that's realistic. Now, I know Slates knows what he's talking about. He's very well connected to both camps. I know Shams reported that, the relationships are destroyed beyond repair. What do you think of option 2? Is that a viable option for them right now?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know where the Warriors go from here. I guess as far as the relationship is concerned, I don't see how you do it. You signed this contract.
I'm with you.
And Shams stood up there and said, hey, it'll be torn up to whoever's.
It was a deal that was made to be torn up.
Which is one, out of all the Shams-isms, that's one of my favorites. But with what the Warriors got going on, look, I've been very open about the Jimmy Butler thing. A lot of people wanted Jimmy Butler on the Kings, right? I was not one of those people.
I don't think Jimmy Butler was one of those people.
No. But then when he went to the Warriors and they started balling out, everybody was saying, Alan, you kept saying you didn't want Jimmy Butler. How do you feel now? Well, they're 2 different teams. That's number 1. And number 2, ultimately, the Warriors were middling, right? Jimmy was playing well, but they weren't a cohesive unit. And partly in this day and age, Whitey, the funniest thing, you cannot waste a $22 million contract on the bench. You just can't do it. Not in this basketball NBA economy. And that's what they've been doing. So you have where they're at now and the decisions that they made to give Jimmy $50+ million per year over the next 2 years. I honestly think they could go out, and I'm not going to say they'd be better, but they could find someone, if it's Michael Porter Jr., that maybe more so fits what they're going to do, because the Jimmy Butler thing, he had moments where he turned into the scoring help that Steph needed, but he wasn't going for 40 on a random night. He wasn't going for 35 even on a random night. So I am in no way, shape, or form saying the Warriors are in a better position. I'm just saying they were kind of stuck where we have to pretend like Jimmy's our number 2 because we're paying him $56 million a year. So how are we going to go get somebody else? They can make a decision now. They can move on from Jimmy. They can move on from Kuminga.
Well, you're skipping ahead to option 3.
Yeah.
You're right, which is, hey, let's go get somebody who's going to give us a shot right now to maximize the opportunities we have. Yeah. They've been playing well lately. Warriors being the Warriors, they always think they're this close to a championship.
Exactly. Oh, last season, they said Steph doesn't get hurt. They felt good against the Thunder.
Yeah.
Well, you're the only ones.
And I don't blame them in a way because in 2022, they had no business winning a championship, and they did. Now, we're talking about all this, of course, because I can already sense people going, what are they talking about? The Warriors.
Right.
I know Alan loves them, but
No.
Yeah. But we're talking about them, of course, because now the Kings could come back into play.
Yeah.
With Shams suggesting, and as far as I can tell, Alan, this is just Shams looking at it and saying, this could be something. I don't think there's any, actual evidence that this is going on. But Shams says now the Warriors could turn their attention to DeMar DeRozan.
Right. And I'll tell you this much. I have been trying to push this forever. And I was pushing it when they had Jimmy because I thought with all the conversations about DeMar coming off the bench, there is a certain cachet to the Warriors, to Steph, and that would be a place where maybe DeMar would say, I'm good with that. So I was pushing this initially because I figured, look, the Warriors, the idea of we're free flowing, pass the ball around, Draymond still does that because the brother don't want to shoot. But everybody else, ever since you got Jimmy, it's a different team now. They run differently. Everyone thinks Warriors, and they think the 2015, there's a big 2016 trend going on right now, Whitey, where everybody's posting their old pictures from 2016.
Yeah, I know.
That's not who they are anymore. That's not. So I always thought DeMar DeRozan kind of makes sense for the Warriors. He is somebody, he might not get you 40, but he can get you 30 on a given night and truly give Steph that help. I know the spacing this, spacing that, but I'm saying that's out the window. These guys are stuck. And when they were having conversations, I know Trey Murphy has been on a tear, but giving up a first-round pick or multiple first-round pick for Trey Murphy or getting DeMar, and at that time I said DeMar and Precious for Kuminga, I don't know. Maybe I got purple lenses on, but that's how I thought. With Jimmy gone, this makes even more sense to bring DeMar DeRozan in and get Steph that scoring help that he would have needed either way.
I'm going to push back on you on the idea of Kuminga. Excuse me. There, I said it again. I didn't mean to. But the idea of DeRozan going to the Warriors before this happened. And I know we talked about it. To me, it was not a good fit. But now it doesn't matter whether it was or it wasn't.
Right.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it did make sense and the parties involved couldn't see it. But now with Jimmy Butler out, I can see how, that would make a lot more sense for Golden State to do that. And basically DeRozan for the 7th pick in the 2021 draft, that pretty much pencils out.
Here's my thing, though. The Warriors are stuck, okay? The Warriors are a bit stuck, but they still care about optics, in my opinion. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors said, look, even though we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, we know you still want Kuminga. And this would make people upset, but I would say if you're the Warriors and you know that the Kings have wanted Kuminga, I go to them and I say, we'll take DeRozan, which has essentially, no disrespect, no value to you at this point, but we're going to need Keon Ellis. And essentially, if you're the Kings, right, and the idea of you probably weren't going to get anything for DeMar, or anything of note for DeMar anyway, now you're swapping essentially Kuminga for Ellis, and I don't know where the Kings feel about that. I don't know how
there's
Kings
also one
fans
contract
feel
that would have
about
to come back to Sacramento, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In addition to what you're talking about.
Right.
So that would further complicate that, but it doesn't sound that complicated. I think the Warriors, this is just a guess, I think the Warriors talk to the Kings about the parameters of this if they do, in fact, have interest in DeMar DeRozan. Then I think they park that because my guess is the Warriors look at that and say, that could help us, but there's probably other players out there who could help us more.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that if we need to. That's my guess, is that you mentioned Michael Porter Jr. I think the Warriors will look for bigger fish, but that may be their fallback.
Well, here's the other thing, and I know you mentioned the different options as well. Steph is, 36, 37. We know they're not getting any younger.
And that's why they're most likely going to be all in and double down.
Well,
double down.
Right. This is like a quadruple down at this point. But there is a world where you do play it out. You let Kuminga do his thing. And then at the end of this season, you build up his value. You punt this season, which again, really tough to do with Steph and his situation.
Yeah, I don't see him doing that. You may be right.
And then you try to get better value for Kuminga or whatever. The bottom line is, Whitey, you're either going to make a move that is going to be very impulsive
if you're the Warriors.
Or if you're the Warriors, or you're going to, I guess, wait and do nothing, and then you might be kicking yourself in 10 years.
Really? I think if they find the right deal and they're able to find somebody who can come in and help them now, I don't think that's necessarily impulsive.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on who's
it
out
might
there.
be a little reckless. I
Right.
mean, depending on what
Yeah.
they give up. And it does. I know what you're saying. I agree with you. It sounds like they are kind of over a barrel here.
Right.
But there are probably some moves they could make that might pencil out. And again, remember, they're willing to take a chance on this. The odds are already against them winning a championship.
Well, I do wonder what Jimmy Butler's value is, because now you think about it, he tore his ACL last night. Okay,
That's a ton of money, and he's going to be, 38 when he comes back?
Right. We are in the middle of January. So let's say these guys are cyborgs. So let's say he comes back in December. He's ready for next December on an expiring contract. My question is, as much as we've talked about Zach LaVine, they're on the same time frame, essentially getting paid the same thing, Jimmy a little bit more. how valuable is Jimmy's contract to a team. Honestly, the Nets make so much sense because this is what they've done. They take these guys on these contracts and they either let them play and build up their value like they've done what they did with Mikal Bridges, with Cam Johnson, and now, of course, with Michael Porter Jr. or they did the same thing they did when they took the Warriors, DeAnthony Melton, last season when they did it in the Dennis Schroeder deal, and they, were able to move on right after that. So if you're the Nets, you say, yeah, we'll take Jimmy because he ain't going to play. He ain't going to mess up anybody's. You got to pay someone. You're not messing up anybody's timeline on the Nets. He comes back in December, some point in time. Somebody trades for him. Somebody doesn't. Either way, he's off the books at the end of the season. So I don't see, as much as I did it wasn't Matt's trade. It was somebody that kind of tagged Matt, or he saw it on social media. I just don't see why the Warriors would make that deal and send Jimmy to Sacramento. I guess you're getting Sabonis, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that would be why they do it.
It just depends on what they want. And that's been the issue this whole time. The Warriors haven't known what they've wanted. First they wanted Vucevic, and they wanted some type of centerpiece, right? Because they're tired of Draymond playing center. Then they wanted a scorer. Then they wanted Kobe White. Then they wanted Trey Murphy. So I just honestly, maybe they want Sabonis. I don't know.
Well, also, we don't know for sure what it is they want based on what we're hearing from, I don't want to say Evan Siddery, but from some people who do this for a living, right? Yeah. We don't necessarily know.
I mean, even from the Anthony Slaters and the Brett Siegels, it hasn't been very clear, right? It turned into the wing thing. So again, let's say that it is the wing thing. Let's say that is the Trey Murphy type of deal. Then they wouldn't want Sabonis, right? Based on what we've been told.
Right. At this point, and I know you use the word impulsive, however you want to, whatever word you want to use, at this point, they have to look at how much talent can we get in. Beggars can't be choosers. And they're trying to get this thing back on track before the trade deadline, right? I'm assuming. And they're trying to put together enough assets and talent to actually make a run at a title this year.
Yeah.
So they may have to compromise some of their, ideals. We'd like this type of player and that type of player. They ain't out there, but this guy's pretty good and we could get him.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing, why I found the whole thing so ridiculous the last couple seasons. Oh, we don't want to put the organization in a bad spot or anything like that. Whitey, would it be crazy to say, and I got to be careful here, would it be crazy to say that this could put the Warriors in a better position than they currently were at? If they play this right with Kuminga and Jimmy, if they're able to move those two guys and they get the right suitor, you could get a Michael Porter Jr. and someone else, whoever you want to call it.
I'm not seeing it, but it certainly could happen.
I'm just not that high on that iteration of the Warriors. And were they going to get Michael Porter Jr.? The last report was that the Warriors hadn't even looked into Michael Porter Jr. So maybe it's not about Jimmy or not Jimmy. Maybe it's about forcing the hand of a Warriors team that was living, I guess, in limbo and in delusion. So they no longer can do that.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Some Kings fans may not appreciate this question, but if you were Golden State and if you were looking at DeRozan and Sabonis, and again, we don't know that that's what's going on, but if they were, come on in. I think, Matt, did you leave something in here? Help yourself. Yeah. You have to answer this question, though, coming in. If you're Golden State, and let's say that at some point DeRozan and Sabonis are reasonable, you might be able to acquire them. Would you be discouraged by the fact that neither one of them has really ever done much in the postseason? If you're trying to win a championship and you have a chance to land those two guys, obviously tremendous talent there, would you be at all discouraged by neither one of them really is known for their postseason exploits?
No, I wouldn't.
Would it bother you, Matt?
No.
No, Matt says no.
No, I wouldn't, because I've always thought the Sabonis thing was overblown.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't a long history of. He ain't Clayton Kershaw.
Good point.
You know what I mean? He ain't Clayton Kershaw. He had one run in the playoffs, and he didn't even play poorly. He didn't play to his standards. So to me, I've always felt it was a little bit overblown. It would have been nice for them to get back, for him to prove it wrong. I get it. That's the only example that we have. But if I'm the Warriors, everybody is unproven until they get put in that situation and they get multiple bites at the apple. And who would know this even better, Whitey, than Steph Curry?
You know why I agree with you?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the Warriors and I bring in those two guys, they don't have to do
Right.
too much of the heavy lifting. Obviously, we need them to help us, but we have people who've won multiple championships.
Yeah.
One guy in particular, he's the one that's going to be doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. If you want to use it as a comparison, it would basically be Andrew Wiggins when he joined the Warriors. He got to kind of chill. Everybody
Got
liked
a warm
him.
welcome last night.
Yeah, he did. He did. Got to chill. Got to do what he needed to do when the team called on him. Got to defend and just shoot threes and show off his athleticism. But the weight of the world wasn't on his shoulders, and it wouldn't be like that for DeMar DeRozan or Domantas Sabonis. So I don't think that's any cause to pause. I think that even with Steph, he dealt with this on a different level when it comes to the Finals MVP. So it's a non-issue to me.
Okay, I'm sure we'll be talking about that and the permutations and possible ramifications for days, if not weeks to come. But let me ask you about this, and I mentioned Evan Siddery, and I know Evan's come on the shows a lot, and he's come on your show, and we appreciate that. Evan Siddery today, and this is, 5 hours ago, says the Bucks, this was on X, the Bucks, the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Kings have recently shown exploratory trade interest in Miles Bridges, averaging 19.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists this season for Charlotte. The Hornets appear open to moving Bridges for the right price. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no way to have this conversation without, the things that have gone on off the court.
I'm
with
out.
Miles Bridges.
For those reasons, I am out.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And he could ball, don't get me wrong. But I think that if you're the Kings, Whitey, you know
He's also
what?
27, isn't he past my due date?
I can keep it very simple for you. All you got to do, when you ask me players, I'm just going to respond to you with a comment question that goes as this. Does he make the checklist for the Scott Perry pillars? If he doesn't make the check, we don't got to get into the detail. We don't have to say any of that. Miles Bridges does not check that list. He does not check that list.
Really? You talking about because of his off-court things?
Yeah, I think it's all included.
I do think it's possible someone could do what he did, which was, he was accused of and I think admitted to abusing someone with a child present, basically. Physical abuse. I think you could do something like that and still check some of those boxes. I think it's two separate things.
So why are you out?
I'm out because I just don't want my organization in any way, shape, or form to affiliate myself with someone who's done that. And I wish him the best, but I just I don't need that here.
But if you're saying that he could have changed or
I know.
as a person.
Like I said, I'm just saying it's possible. One is, for me, it's like,
so you're
it's a deal
saying,
breaker. But does that mean he couldn't check some of those pillars? I don't know that.
That's a different way of saying
that's basketball character as opposed to like your character as a human being.
I mean, it's a slippery slope now, with all of, we could go to sports, we keep it in sports, we go to music. You know what I mean? If you, the separation sensation, I don't know. I mean, to me, if we're out on John Collins and guys like that, I don't really know why from a basketball perspective, why are we going after a 27-year-old Miles Bridges? If we need to get, he's slightly younger than this current team because the only team that's not is the Clippers and I guess the Warriors in some capacity. But, if you want to keep it to the basketball, either way, it doesn't really fit what I believe the Kings are trying to do. And is that redundant with my boy, my king, Precious Achiuwa? I think it is.
He's a talented player, no question. But he's put up good numbers at Charlotte for a while, and it's not like it's all his fault, but he's been one of the building blocks there, and that hasn't really gained any traction. So I'm in no hurry there.
Yeah, he's a chucker.
I'm in no hurry.
He's a version of a chucker to me. He's just been putting up good numbers on a bad team for what feels like a half a decade. So I don't know. You were a chucker for too long, Whitey, and I don't know. You kind of forget how to play winning basketball or what winning basketball is.
Yeah, he's exactly the type of player that the Kings need to ask about.
Yeah.
What's up with this guy? Yeah, let's have some talks. But ultimately for me, it's like, nope, I'm out.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Anybody, again, that threshold of 25 years old, if I'm Scott Perry, unless you're getting a star or somebody you think has star potential, no thank you. It's just, there's no, and that's why people said, what are we doing? Why are we bringing in John Collins? It's the same conversation to me. If you don't want John Collins, you shouldn't want John Collins. You shouldn't want Miles Bridges. You shouldn't want any of these guys who would be good. If all these guys that would be good on the initial Beam team, it's too late now. It's too late. Maybe you just want them on. Heck, if you had Precious Achiuwa, that would have helped. But it's too late now.
Yeah. Kings in the Heat tonight. How did you feel when the winning streak ended? Were you like, oh, or were you like, woo,
yeah.
finally?
Oh, man. When I found out my boy Denny was playing, I jumped for joy. Once I found out, oh, good, he's playing tonight. And, you watch the game. There was still some good things to take from it. That Blazers team is really confusing because their record does not indicate what you see from them on a night-to-night basis. I know that they've been a bit injured. But I thought this, Whitey, if you beat the Blazers with Denny coming back, that's a problem. And I'm pretty sure Drew Holiday was back out. But even still, with Denny coming back in to the fold.
Yeah, Drew Holiday didn't play.
Yeah, my first thought was.
Robert Williams didn't play.
Right.
Well, Bible didn't play.
Robert, why don't you tell me? Whitey, how about this? Why don't you tell me when Robert Williams does play? Why don't you tell me when Matisse Thybulle does play? That's all I need to know. Mm-hmm. But I said, if they beat this Blazers team who had won, I think at that time, 6 of their last 8, some of them without Denny, if they beat that Blazers team, the play-in conversations would have got real loud.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that I was happy that they lost per se, but if they had won that game, the play-in convo today would be out of control.
They had a shot. They only lost by 7, and Portland, I think, won that game at the foul line. They had 33 free throws to only 18 for the Kings, and don't think that I'm suggesting the officials job the Kings. No, the Kings can't defend very well. Mm-hmm. When you can't defend, you commit a lot of fouls. So they were in that game, but the 4-game winning streak over.
Yeah, it's over. It was nice. Now we get back to business.
You can't win too many games and expect to have a top 3 pick.
No. That was like I said, some of these games are unavoidable. That Wizards game, unavoidable. Some of these games now that you have tonight, Heat culture, and it's so funny now if we're talking about trolling.
Heat back-to-back.
Yeah, Heat back-to-back. They were just in the Bay, so now they drove up 80, and when we wanted the Kings to win games, right, the Heat would come up. Remember that game, what was it, 2 years ago?
I do.
No Tyler Hero.
I think it was a Monday night.
Nobody was playing, and you had Duncan Robinson. I think he had about 7 assists or something insane.
Didn't Kevin Love even contribute to that
went
game?
off.
Yeah.
Went off. So
I do remember that game.
Just pretend like it is a couple years ago when we needed you to win and you couldn't get it done. And I'm not necessarily cheering for losses here, Whitey, but you are – it is going to get a bit dicey. And you look here, you got the Heat, Raptors, then you go on the road for the Cavs, Pistons, Knicks. Knicks, big trouble with Mike Brown. That thing is
Did you see them yesterday?
I saw.
They just look like, what's wrong with them? Is Cat okay?
Yeah. Reports that they weren't happy that he hugged Draymond after the flagrant foul.
I like Mike Brown, but I don't blame the Knicks. If I was a Knicks fan, I'd be furious.
Well, I think his response was even worse, where he said, well, how about Cat, get into foul trouble?
Yeah.
That was even worse.
Yep.
And then you have the Sixers, my boy Tyrese Maxey doing his thing. It's a long one, Whitey.
How long has he been your boy?
He's been my boy for a while.
A while.
A while. People think he's just a chucker. The dude plays winning basketball. Don't get me started. Then it's at Boston, and then you get a little break at Wizards. So I would say this, Whitey. I'm willing to say you could win one of these next 2. You could beat the Heat or you could beat the Raptors because that road trip is going to be rough. You probably, in theory, not going to – the 76ers have been tricking off some games, but you're probably not seeing another win until the Wizards.
Getting dangerous, though, Alan. You're 4th worst now. You want to be in the bottom 3 to get a top 3 pick.
I just feel uncomfortable cheering for losses on the air. I do. I feel uncomfortable. I don't know how to do this.
I know, but I'm just after the fact. You can evaluate, that's actually not bad because of this.
After
By the way,
fact,
Yeah. I don't know how you're feeling about the prospects in the draft. I know we'll talk more about that, again, in the days and weeks to come. But I've been doing some research this weekend with the spare time. I was really getting down, looking at some video and things. I'm a big Darren Peterson fan.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a big
Somebody said he's
Darren
Kobe,
Peterson.
but more efficient. Can we
say
stop?
That. I didn't.
You're
say
thinking
that.
it. You're thinking it. Somebody said that.
He's good.
He's
really
was he Kyrie? He's just a scorer.
No, he's not actually.
Well,
Pretty
every
good
time
defender.
I've never seen Darren Peterson pass a basketball. How about that?
I will show you video of that. If I were Darren Peterson, I would never pass the basketball either, by the way. And I know you wouldn't.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah. When we come back, another loss for the 49ers. This one was also expected. We'll come right back with that and more. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Golden One Center this Friday through Sunday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Savings available on select opening night tickets.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Sacramento's Outwork playlist is Mix 96. Now with 4 opportunities each weekday to be our $1,000 Employee of the Day. Today's hits and yesterday's favorites, Mix 96.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblet Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITBfest.com.
How do you plead? You are charged with posting the most disingenuous post.
Me?
Yes. How do you plead?
Oh, I know where this is going.
How do you plead?
Guilty as charged. Oh, I know what you're about to
You
say.
posted something about Dylan Cardwell, and you had the double heart eyes emoji.
No, stars. They weren't hearts. They were stars.
Were
Because
they?
he's a star, baby.
I think they were the double
No,
heart.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, boy, I love this guy, or
no,
whatever
no,
it was.
No. Because you know what? It was an inside joke for those who have listened to the show. But I was being serious. People did not understand that part of it.
Right, so you get the benefit of all the people
Oh, it
that
was
love
perfect.
him, like, oh, this guy's great.
Oh,
But
they were
really,
hard.
you're taking a
Wait.
shot at them and him.
I said, I've always known,
Yeah. Yes.
in all caps,
Yeah.
known Dylan Cardwell had it. And then a smiley face with, they are red stars. So I don't know. They could be, depends on where you're looking at it. But I got stars in my eyes watching Dylan Cardwell. Look, can I say this? Can I say this for 2 seconds? I saw somebody, and which is so funny because if I was in the league, I'd probably be just like Dylan Cardwell. So you tend to just, no. As far as just celebrating way too often, right? What Draper talks about, same type of guy, right? But I saw it initially and I thought, honestly, it was a defense mechanism because I thought, I don't know how people are going to react to this because it would be over the top, or it is a bit over the top, and it's not a good team. So I didn't know. So I was almost projecting what I thought other people would feel as well as myself. And I saw somebody say, when Dylan Cardwell first started playing and was doing all the stuff, I didn't like it, right? A couple weeks later, I just think it's really refreshing. And Whitey, you are allowed to change your mind. I never disliked it. I was kind of hung up.
You didn't change your mind, though.
I did change my mind. I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
You have
No, you know
pleaded
what?
guilty.
I never disliked it. I was afraid for him.
Are you ready for your punishment?
Okay.
For your sentence?
Okay.
Okay. It turns out Dylan Cardwell is going to be making an appearance. He's scheduled to make an appearance. It's been announced at True Sports Cards. I think it's March 21st. He's going to be there signing autographs. So Emran, our friend Emran, has been texting him, and apparently at one point Emran asked him, hey, Dylan, the thing you do where you're, what do you call that? And Dylan Cardwell said, I don't have a name for it. I'm open to suggestions.
Well, which thing, though?
Well, the whole thing where he's...
He's just saying, come on. Well, I think what's been floating around is, Dylan, are you not entertained Cardwell?
Yeah, but that's not a name for what he does.
Okay.
He says he's open to suggestions.
Okay.
We need you to come up with something.
Okay.
Not right now,
Right,
necessarily.
right. The pump up?
No. I mean, it's a start. You can get the help of the smartest listeners in radio. Yeah. Ryan Smith, by the way, says, don't back down, Alan.
I'm not backing down. Look, I was worried for him. Okay?
All right.
It never bothered me. Again, just like the beam all those years ago. I just asked the question, is it too much? I never said I thought it was too much.
Digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper.
This is why
deeper and deeper.
No.
Deeper.
This is how
and
you know
he doesn't learn. That's the thing. I try to help him. He doesn't learn.
But this is how you know.
Give me that big show, Whitey.
No. But this is how you know I can be a politician one day. This is
you're not getting my vote.
This is how this is how you do it, Whitey. I never said, you can find the tape when Jay gets back. I never said I dislike it. I said,
of course not. You never say that.
I said, is he going to do it every time? And then I looked
clearly
at you.
implying that I hope he doesn't do it every time. And now that, I've always loved him.
No, I've always known he had it.
All right, so you worry about him. That's nice.
I worried about him, how fans were going to react.
Are you worried about Robert Saleh becoming the next coach of the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, man. It's funny, Whitey, because I thought for a while the league was done with the defensive coordinators. For a while it was just every offensive coordinator getting hired, and they kind of shied away from defensive coordinators. To take this job, I get the AFC South is a little weak, right? No disrespect to the Texans and the Jaguars, who both had great seasons.
There are always opportunities in the Southern divisions.
There are. And I get that part of it. I don't know if I'm more worried for Robert Saleh or Cam Ward. Because if you're Robert Saleh, the one thing you have to do is make sure that you get Cam Ward, the best offensive coordinator, quarterback guru, whisperer you can get. You have to. Because the defense, Okay, cool. Jaguars got a good defense. Colts got a good. It's almost turning into it's easier to get a defense that will at least keep you in games than getting an offense that can score on those defenses.
It is when Robert Saleh's your coordinator, too.
Well, exactly. And, somebody said, hey, when he was with the Jets and the Zach Wilson thing, like he doesn't have a great track record with the young QB. So hopefully Robert Saleh learns from whatever mistakes he felt like he made in New York. Then he had Aaron Rodgers for 2 seconds. So, yeah, I'm more worried for Cam Ward, the least talked about number 1 pick in the history of the NFL, than for Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him because of Cam Ward, where the organization is committed to Cam. And, yeah, it's a great point you raise. He's going to have to get the right coordinator. But ownership, you would think, is looking at this, and I know, as Kayla tells us, it's a little iffy there, the way things are done with that organization. But you figure they're committed to Cam Ward for, at least 3-4 years, so Robert Saleh can kind of ride on his coattails in that regard.
Yeah.
Also, they have a ton of cap space, so he's going to be able to handpick some guys he wants to bring in for to upgrade the defense. But also, he wasn't going to get the pick of the litter. He wasn't going to be the coach of the Giants.
Yeah.
So he was probably more likely to get this job or maybe Arizona. So of those options, is like, this is a good spot for him.
Right. At least you know who the quarterback is in Tennessee.
Yes.
And going back to the divisions, you don't want to go to the NFC West. Why would you do that? What
who's
good
going to
does
be
that
the
solve?
new coordinator?
Yeah,
It's like Gus Bradley looks like.
Yeah, a lot of names being thrown around, and the Niners got a couple different options that they can look at. It's got to be tough if you are a Niner fan, because there's this revolving door, and if it's not, you either get poached or you get canned. Those are the only 2 ways. It's like a gang. The only way you're leaving here is in a body bag. There's only 2 ways to leave a Niners coordinator job: a poach to be a head coach, or you're canned, like Steve Wilkes.
Yeah. I think more than not have been poached, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
Who then got another opportunity, what was it, in New York, where Robert Saleh was. Yeah.
Yeah. Gus Bradley looks like a likely candidate to replace Saleh, and a lot of people say that's why the 49ers hired Gus Bradley in the first place. He was an assistant head coach last year because the 49ers had a pretty good idea. Saleh's probably not going to be here much longer. Yeah. Gus Bradley was in Seattle, and, I think there's this perception that Kyle Shanahan is like, I'm offense, I leave the defense alone. But there's a certain type of defense he wants them to play.
Right. And I think that was a Steve Wilkes thing.
Seattle-based,
Yeah, that was a Steve Wilkes issue. And then he's, hey, come down here.
Yeah.
Right? Remember hey, get out of the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Come down out of the booth.
Yeah, at that point, you're like, well, this ain't going to last
long. No. And just the types of guys that they've had, the fiery guys, Wilkes never fit that bill.
That and that big completion right before the half on a Monday night game in Minnesota where Kirk Cousins went up top.
Right.
They had 0 blitz with 20 seconds left, whatever. That was it right there.
That was it.
It's like, you ain't getting poached.
No.
You're getting the other
one.
one.
So you know what the other option is. Whitey, we're getting from the 916, call it the Rise It Up. Everybody rise up. Call it the Rise Up for Dylan Cardwell.
You're in charge of that, so what do you think?
But isn't that too close to Aaron Judge? Everyone, what is it? Everyone
All
rise.
rise.
All rise. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about I don't know. Let me hear it.
I don't know. We'll
turn up.
You probably have to take the ones that you think are best and take them to Dylan, and then at some point, he'll have to pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because he is my guy, so I got to figure this out for him.
I don't think you're his guy, though. Matt George is his guy. Did you hear about that?
No.
Matt George was talking to Sean Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Dylan Cardwell was talking to Sean Cunningham and said, isn't it too bad about Matt George leaving Locked on Kings?
Really?
And Sean Cunningham said, he's on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And Dylan Cardwell's like, oh, that's great. So,
wow.
Matt George is his guy.
Yeah.
Not Alan Stiles.
I mean, Dylan is young. He's a rookie. He's trying to make his way, and he's trying to ingratiate himself where he needs to be.
All right.
But Dylan, he'll get it.
Okay.
He'll get it.
When we come back, the Hoosiers are what college football needs, but is Fernando what Alan Stiles' Raiders need? Well, look at that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
2 new voices join the midday. Matt George and Kayla Anderson.
Weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Watch online at SactownSports.com, on the app, or in your car.
Listen to the latest on the Sacramento Kings, the San Francisco 49ers, and all breaking news.
Northern California is covered.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The best in the middays during your weekdays are on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports, 1140.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Big O Tires, now through January 25th, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tire store for pricing and book an appointment online today.
What's up? We're talking to my friend Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, tell everybody what's happening for the Start Something New sales event.
Kick off the new year exploring all California has to offer when you save up to $9,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Willys. This modern blend of nostalgia and military-inspired styling, coupled with enhanced off-road capability, is the epitome of what Jeep has always been.
It's great seeing this modern take on everything that has made a Jeep a Jeep.
I love how they're celebrating their Jeep history, and you can't miss the Jeep DNA everywhere you look. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet is the place to go. From new Jeep Willys to hundreds of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 100 vehicles under $30,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
9,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Willys after 4,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,500 select inventory cash on select inventory, 1,000 conquest bonus cash for eligible non-SFS owners or lessees. 5% savings. See dealer for details.
The Broncos.
And Broncos.
And the Bills.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you have the Broncos?
No, I took Josh.
Oh, okay.
I took Josh, yeah.
Well, you did okay.
Man, Josh. Man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for you, man.
Ah, they're fine. They fired the coach. They'll be fine.
That's all you got to do.
Canned. Who did you have last night? You had Indiana last night?
Yes. Yeah, definitely had Indiana last night. I thought Miami was going to be able to get to Mendoza, which they pretty much did. I mean, they cracked him good, and his lip was bleeding. But ultimately,
that only makes him more determined.
Yeah. And I saw people, hey, don't even think for 1 second this Indiana team could beat the 2019 LSU team. Okay. Who cares? I don't care.
The other thing that I don't quite get, I think Dave has done this. People saying Indiana winning gives me hope as a Kings fan.
I saw that.
I
saw that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow, don't hurt yourself
right.
stretching.
Where's the no correlation
exactly.
meme if you need be? Speaking of stretching, I finally watched Fantastic Four, so he's looking like Reed
Richards.
Yeah, Reed Richards. I got about 20 minutes left. It was I got to watch this stuff late at night, Whitey,
sure.
There's no other time. But yeah, that was Dave on that one. I guess, but he did the same thing with the Lions, and I don't know what to do with any of it. Us Lions and Kings, we are the same.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dave has, I think there's a factory. He doesn't have anything to do with his own posts. And they have the factory, and then, so there's the algorithm, and they're, the templates. Like, Dave posted this 3 years ago when so-and-so was good. All right, just put the different team name in there. And
exactly.
I mean, I don't know how he affords it, but obviously they do a pretty good job. I think this was kind of a reach, but generally they do a pretty good job for him.
Well, obviously my dad was hosting a party for the Bears, and we were talking throughout the game, and he called me right after that crazy play by Caleb. But one of the things that I was telling him about was the idea of Caleb's so young, he'll be back, and I brought up the Lions. Whitey, we did the same thing with the Lions, and I know nobody's trying to lose. Nobody's trying to lose a football game. Nobody's trying to lose a basketball game, baseball game. I get all that. But we do this thing, the collective sports world. Oh, my goodness, the sky is the limit. They're going to be great for years. We did this. I was at that game, right, out there in Santa Clara. We did this with the Lions. After that moment with the Lions, what'd they get last season, to the wild card?
You go back to taking you way back, Alan, 1985, the Super Bowl, when Joe Montana beat Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Marino's going to be back here many times. Nope.
No.
He's not.
No. And everybody is, and I'm happy for the Bears, and I'm happy for Chicago. It's been a long time for them, but we do this thing where, oh my goodness, the ceiling is so high, and you just never know what's going to happen. This was a down year in the NFL.
The difference between the Bears and the Lions is, I think Dan Campbell, who's a fine coach, I think he maybe relies on his coordinators a little more than some other coaches.
Yes,
and one of those coordinators is the coach of the Bears.
Now, the one time I was wrong, or I think kind of bucked the trend, was the first time the Eagles lost to the Chiefs with how well Jalen Hurts played and all of that. Everything was going well until that fumble. I said that's their window closing, and they kind of beat the odds and came back, a couple years later and won it. But I feel like a lot of times that is not the case.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Here's somebody who I know remembers that 1985 Super Bowl. JR with us on Sactown Sports. Hello, JR. How are you?
So, how did Marino do against Montana at Stanford Stadium that day?
It wasn't a great day for him.
Yeah, my pops was at that game.
Really?
That was good. Oh, yeah. We lived right there. I lived right there in Palo Alto, River City. So that was like a home game for the Niners. But, hey, that was nice. We got the Apple cushions we all sat on because it was the old Stanford Stadium. Still got one of those things. The old colored apple half-bitten.
Yeah.
Hey, about 6 weeks ago, there was a Thursday night game where the Rams played Seattle, and Niner fans were all rooting for Seattle to get it. Man, that was like drinking bad milk on a hot day. That was a bad decision.
Yeah, I remember that game. Oh, well. I don't know that it mattered, though, It's not like you can't go back to Saturday night and say, boy, if they just hadn't allowed a return for a touchdown on the opening kick. They just got
mollywopped. Well, if Eddie would have tripped him, he would have saved the touchdown.
That's right.
Eddie.
Come on, Eddie.
Come on.
Ray Wersching would have tripped him.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's go Sharks. Let's go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, JR.
So do we have to do the thing where we wonder what would have happened if the Niners did get the number 1 seed, if McCaffrey catches that football, if they get the fumble? If they get the number 1 seed, does their season end differently?
A little bit, but it would have ended. They had none chance.
Yeah.
You could see it. Like, I know you posted on X. I teach about what you post, but I always read it. And you're right. It's like the schemes are great, but at some point you need somebody who can run faster than the other team's defensive backs.
Yes.
And you need running backs who can run faster and run over people. They didn't have any of that.
No, they don't have it. Yeah, I am dubbing the Niners offense a private school offense. As somebody who went to a private school myself, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, De La Salle. There's a book. Might have heard about him. Look, very rarely do De La Salle, I know Maurice Jones-Drew, but there's not a lot of NFL players that come out of De La Salle for all of the success that they've had. When you got Tonjes, right, and guys, hey, well, maybe we got something with Tonjes.
Yeah.
Maybe you do.
I'm less surprised by the score of that game than I am by the fact that the 49ers went to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles.
No, that's what I said, too. I said, shouldn't somebody be fired? If I'm watching this, if I'm Howie Roseman, I would be watching that game saying, I think we actually need to fire more people.
Yeah.
Because they had no business losing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a complete nightmare out there. Now, A.J. Brown came out. He tried to get traded or tried to request for a trade, 3 weeks into the season? So people are trying to get him out to Vegas for a deal for Max Crosby or something like that. But, yeah, I watched that. I thought, man, the Eagles, what a disaster, because the Niners – They probably had no business being in this situation, and that's why kudos to them. But yeah, if you're the Eagles, Super Bowl on the defense, and you're healthy, what a mess.
As a Raider fan now, I know we touched on this a little earlier. Are you feeling really good now? You need a quarterback. Got the first pick. You got Fernando showed out last night in some ways. You feel like here we go. Here we go.
He was throwing the football. It was funny because in that second half when he started throwing it more, it did look like the receivers were doing a little bit of heavy lifting, but nobody has the receivers slated as, all-world receivers.
Becker with that big back shoulder throw late.
Yeah, and it was
a great catch.
Was that on purpose? I don't, what I mean? Was he trying to put it there? I'm not quite sure. And, there were some drops that with Surratt, he had a couple drops too, so he had to power through that. So, I don't know, something's got to give. If you have receivers that aren't all-world receivers, that kind of means that the quarterback is above average, right? Or closer to elite than not elite. Or if you don't think that the quarterback is that, then okay, then you have you got to give more kudos to the receivers. I think we've just seen a certain type. If you go back to the last couple drafts, Whitey, you see Cam Ward running around in Miami, and he's doing the sidearm and all this stuff. And even, going back to Trevor Lawrence was more stationary, but just had a look about him. When people say Fernando Mendoza's 6'5", he's got a cannon, I'm thinking, I don't see the crispness when he throws like that.
I read somebody today called him a talented grinder.
Okay.
Grinder is usually somebody who has to overcome their lack of ability, and he's got some abilities, but still, to me, that's what gets so tricky for NFL teams when they have the first pick. We need a quarterback. We have the first pick. He's the best one available. Yeah, but is he a guy? Yeah. And I think he's just barely.
Well, a couple months ago, I said Fernando Mendoza reminds me of Jared Goff, right? And there were Cal fans getting on me saying that's disrespectful. Jared Goff was a beast at Cal. But I think they're all in the same category, right? They're different scales. They can be, I'm not going to bring up Pokemon again because Jay's not here, but there could be.
Then this is the day you should bring it up.
This is the day. But there can be different versions of the same Pokemon, right? And just depending on who they are. So if, I don't know, Jared Goff who is the best version of that? Maybe it's Stafford. I'm not sure. But the more stationary guys that you're not sure where that athleticism is, I think I see at least as much skill in Fernando Mendoza I see in Jared Goff. I don't think it's crazy different, and Jared Goff went number 1 overall. So I feel pretty confident with it. Is he going to be a game breaker? He was last night with that run, but it's more of it's a need versus scrambling all over the place.
Meanwhile, is it time to trade Domantas Sabonis? We answered that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
3-day weekends go by quickly, don't they?
No.
Not if you have a toddler.
Not if you have a toddler, man. I'm so glad to be back here.
You posted something, I think it was on Instagram. You and your daughter were at a playground Saturday morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It was foggy.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
She's really cute.
She's the best, but 3 days, man. I'm glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back. It just doesn't stop. It does not stop. But love her. It's just, I don't know, it just, when they just say no, you know what I mean? I got nothing. Hey, don't come upstairs. We're putting the baby to sleep. No, I'm coming. Oh, okay. My wife is like, hey, she's still too young to kind of reprimand like that. Okay, so it's just her opinion.
Look, I'm sorry. Obviously, I opened a can of worms. I thought it was nice to have some time off, and I was hoping you had some nice time with the family. But I understand.
No, I'm so happy. I was driving in today with such a smile on my face. Oh my goodness. How long was the show today? I don't want to. Don't make me go.
I'll do game night. You need anybody on game night?
Hey, Marsh, I'm right here, buddy. Oh man,
are you at all excited or looking forward to the announcements on the Baseball Hall of Fame, which are supposed to start any minute.
Yeah, if there's no Barry, I know Carey. That's what I say.
Okay.
That's what I say. There'll be some names that'll be cool because as you get older, names that you remember even more. Like when I was in high school, it was a little bit different. But now these are guys that I kind of grew up watching a little bit. So yeah, that part is cool.
Might be like Carlos Beltran, maybe. They used to call him Andrew Jones, but now it's just Andrew Jones.
Yeah. And his son is somewhere doing something. I know he's a center. I think he's a center fielder as well. He's got a good swing. So yeah, there'll be some names. And speaking of names, Whitey, I got a couple names for you that are coming in. Okay.
These are terms for what Dylan Cardwell does?
For Dylan
those who don't know, he apparently doesn't have a name for it.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
And real quick, somebody was saying something on Mendoza. You know what I think it is too? There's this hybrid quarterback these days that we had the time when it was Kaepernick and RG3 and everybody's going to run the option and be fast. And now we're seeing these guys that are, like I said, I call them hybrids because they're not necessarily runners, but they can run. So you look at Drake May, I'd put Bo Nix in that category. I'd put Trevor Lawrence in that category. Brock Purdy, to a certain extent, I put in that category as well. Not to a certain extent. He runs with the best of them. It's these guys that you're not really setting up options, but they can run when they need to run, and they will run pretty often.
You're saying they're not purely pocket passers?
Exactly. That's why I say a hybrid. Like when we were coming up, it was a running quarterback and then a pocket quarterback. There's these hybrids that are popping up now, and that's what everybody wants. Even Cam Ward had to run a little bit more than he did at Miami.
I think you're right. I think now if you are somebody who is just a pure pocket passer, that's something you have to prove you can overcome. Whereas before it's like, classic. Now it's like, well, wait a minute. If he's not mobile, that could be a problem.
Right. So going back to even Jared Goff before he had a couple of injuries, Jared Goff could run the football a little bit. So Mendoza, to me, the arm I think will play. I wonder about his mobility. I know he ran it out of necessity during the college football playoff, but that's also college, and they had a heck of a football team. So I'm curious to see what he's able to do if he turns into more of a pockety guy in the NFL and how that works out for him.
But you are, just to confirm, I know we've talked about it, you are sold, right, that he's the guy.
I'm sold, but now that the Raiders actually have the pick, I'm way more weary. It's like the Dylan Cardwell thing.
You're leery.
I'm leery. I'm worried for him. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm
not buying that.
I'm worried for him.
You're worried about everybody you say, and I know you're really not.
That's right. All right, I got one, Whitey. What about the gimme more? The gimme more?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And if we get enough of these that we think pass muster, we'll obviously let Dylan Cardwell see what he thinks, and maybe he'll pick one, and maybe he won't. Maybe he'll have one that he's come up with on his own.
916 says, okay, Alan, here it is, the Cardwell connection.
I mean, I appreciate anyone listening.
But we have to imagine Draper, right? Or if you're in the building, Scott Moak saying, oh, and Dylan goes to the blank, right? Oh, and Dylan goes to the Cardwell connection. I don't like that, right? Oh, Dylan goes to the beam me up. Or bring the beam, someone says. I don't know about that. I got somebody came up with Whitey. Dylan, here he comes. Here comes the royal rise. Huh?
Maybe.
Here comes the crown up.
That sounds like something else.
Here comes the royal roar. Huh?
Maybe.
Here comes the king's command.
Yeah.
Here comes the sack it up.
Nope. Gonna pretend you didn't say it. Just doing something.
Here comes the purple wave. The purple rise. How about that?
Maybe. Again, it's going to be, up to him.
Here comes the golden one lift.
I think we've kind of hit a point at which it's time to just put it aside for now and move on with other things.
Here comes.
I appreciate all the efforts.
Oh, here we go. Wait. Here comes the king's call.
The what?
The king's call.
The king's call?
The king's call.
I don't quite get it.
Here comes.
Keep trying. Keep them coming. And again, any one of these may be one where I go, ugh.
Here
and Dylan Cardwell may say, love it. That's it.
Here comes the light the beam lift.
That's not the one, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Here comes the Cardwell clap.
I know what you mean. Sometimes you say no and stop, and the little ones, the younger ones, just don't know when to stop.
That one
I
came
know
through.
exactly what you mean, Alan.
That one just came through. All right. All right.
What do you make of the things that are being thrown around today about the Kings potentially on a trade? We know the Warriors suffered a devastating injury potentially last night to Jimmy Butler, so that could change their approach to the deadline, and that could involve the Kings. And Shams, do we have anything more on this? I don't believe we do. I think Shams just kind of spitballing, saying, well, now that Jimmy Butler's out, maybe the Warriors turn their attention to DeMar DeRozan. As far as we know, that was just Shams going, I don't know, maybe this is something, and nothing more than that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as we know. Okay.
I'm just trying to fight. There's one more that somebody said. Just let me do one more.
Uh-huh.
Here comes, I think this is a winner. This is from the 916. Here comes the Royal Flush.
I don't know.
The problem is the flush.
Exactly.
Yeah. The problem is the flush.
You said it was a great one. I got to do this one. You got to let me do this one.
The Royal Flush. Yeah. All right. Okay, but what you were saying about Shams. Whitey.
Yeah.
What you were saying about Shams.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay.
By
the way, here's what Dylan said. I don't have a name for it yet. If you got any ideas, let me know. So
I'm letting them know. Yeah. I'm letting them know. I'm trying, Dylan.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
I can take some of these. I can give them to Emmer, who's in contact
I don't give
with
them
them.
These.
And then see
I
if
use
Dylan likes any of them.
ChatGPT for about the second half. It didn't work out. But it might work out with DeMar DeRozan.
Because you've been trying to sell this for months.
Exactly.
Oh, DeMar DeRozan is a great fit for the Warriors.
That's
I don't
right.
know why they don't see it.
My point was I thought that Jimmy Butler was an awful fit for the Warriors. Then I realized the Warriors are just a complete mess, right? But Steph
They've been playing pretty well lately.
But Steph fixes that mess. When they made that deal for Jimmy, I didn't think it was going to work because of the same reasons people said DeMar DeRozan wouldn't work. I know Jimmy plays a bit better defense, but same idea, doesn't really shoot the three ball, doesn't space the floor, things like that. I think they're both pretty good passers. I think people would probably give that edge to Jimmy, but I believe DeMar DeRozan's underrated. He's an underrated passer.
I agree.
So my thought was, you know what? I was wrong to a certain extent. I was wrong on the Jimmy Butler thing. So even though in my mind, and a lot of people's mind, adding DeMar DeRozan wouldn't make sense, if you add DeMar DeRozan and bring him off the bench for the Warriors, even with Jimmy Butler, I think that could make sense. So you disagree with that, Whitey. Plenty of people disagreed with it in a possible Kuminga deal. But now with DeMar DeRozan out, with Jimmy Butler out, it is very obvious that this is something that the Warriors could do unless they want to spend a ton of cash and go big fish hunting. But this is, I would say, the safe play to kind of keep the ship afloat for now, and maybe you get lucky. But are you winning a championship because what would you do, the double deal, or like I said, it's Kuminga and one of their minimum deals for DeMar, and personally I think they'd ask for Keon. You could say no.
I still don't think saying the name of the guy you just said, and I accidentally did twice today myself, I still don't think that's within the boundaries. But you say it is okay to say his name because we're talking about a potential deal.
Yeah. Because of the
I think
change.
you're lucky that Jay's not here.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
By the way, Hype Hands is getting mentioned. I think that's pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like who came up with that this weekend in basketball?
Yeah.
Hype Hands.
I'm gonna text that to him.
No, I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking to say that too.
Why you always lying?
No, I won't. I wouldn't do that to you. Look, I've had bosses in my tech job. They used to take my ideas. I wouldn't do that to you this week in basketball. Hype Hands.
Don't you think, I know as much as you love and admire the Warriors and you're there for every game, don't you think it's most likely that they might look at DeRozan and go, yeah, that could be a good fit here given where we are right now, but let's see if there's something better.
Yeah. Well, again, I think this goes back to Jimmy Butler and his value, because you could, I know the idea of bringing in Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan, that was kind of floated around and people have been mentioning it, and the Warriors would ship out Jimmy Butler and Kuminga. But you if you're the Warriors, if you didn't want to do that deal, you could go get DeMar DeRozan and here, Warriors, you want Kuminga, take him. You say, hey, we're going to need Keon Ellis back. We know DeMar doesn't have a ton of value, so you're not going to get over on us that bad. So you would get DeMar, Keon, and you give up Guy Santos or somebody. That's a minimum contract.
I love Guy Santos.
I know you do.
I really
him
do.
in a Kings
I
jersey.
always have.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, heaven.
So then on the other side, you take the Jimmy Butler contract, and with that Jimmy Butler contract, you see who's out there. Think about it like this. You wouldn't be getting your big man, Whitey, but look, the Warriors, you know those people out there that say they got a type, but they never date that type, right? Oh, I like them this height or whatever, but they never actually date them, right?
Not really, but I'll go with it.
The Warriors have been saying they want a center forever, but they don't. They don't. Because if they wanted one, they would have got one. So I say you do this, Whitey.
They just got Horford. And they had,
what's
Quentin
left of
Post.
them?
Yeah, that's fair.
What's okay? Yeah. Well, then you got your guy. You don't need, and you got Quentin Post, who's he forgot how to shoot. So you go get DeMar DeRozan and Keon, right? The Kings get Kuminga. Then you say, hey Nets, I know you like to get these expiring contracts and to flip guys that way. Hey Nets, let's do a deal because of Jimmy. I know Michael Porter Jr. ain't making 50, so you'd have to get something back. So the Nets find, I don't know, maybe you could do Claxton, maybe, or something like that. You do MPJ and Claxton for Jimmy, and maybe the Warriors have to send them some swap or something. Then you could have Michael Porter Jr., DeMar DeRozan, Keon Ellis, maybe even Nick Claxton. I mean, if you're the Warriors,
this deal's getting big.
Well, I'm just saying 2 separate deals. Now, you're probably not getting Claxton, but you'd have to make that money work somehow.
I know some people have looked at this and speculated that maybe somehow Domantas Sabonis would be involved in that. Mm-hmm. Again, we have no intel that suggests that's the case. And in fact, we have from Anthony Slater today on ESPN. He said the Warriors are exploring the whole thing with the number 7 pick in the 2021 draft. They're at least going through the motions of making it look like, they're trying to repair the relationship with him. But the question is, from the Kings standpoint, put the Warriors aside for a moment, is it time to trade Domantas Sabonis?
Yes.
Is now a good time to trade Domantas Sabonis?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because
of hype hands?
Well,
and French bread?
It has nothing to do with my guys, okay? Dylan Cardwell and Maxime Reynaud. It has nothing to do with them as much as it has to do with the fact that, Whitey, I have hit Control F on I don't know how many different Scott Perry interviews. And they're a lot. And we've been through them all. The brother never talks about Domantas Sabonis. And he doesn't have to talk about Domantas Sabonis. That's his prerogative. But what that tells me is that Domantas Sabonis is not, this is my opinion.
But he never talks about anybody.
He does, though. When he talks about Keegan.
Yeah.
When he's asked about the future of this team, he does not talk about a guy who is an all-NBA center making $45 million a year. He talks about Keegan and the guys that he drafted. That's it. So to me, they're going to trade Domantas Sabonis.
You're saying that because Scott Perry doesn't mention him, clearly he's not in. Domantas Sabonis is not in the long-term plan.
He's not. I can't say I know for a fact, but I know. I'm telling you.
But not for a fact.
Not for a fact, but I know. It's very obvious to me. He doesn't. Please, next break. You at home, try to send me an article where Scott Perry talked about Domantas Sabonis as a building block for this team.
We don't have to. Don't waste your time. He hasn't done that.
He hasn't
done that.
So if you can
don't
get
know what
back,
that proves, but it is true.
If you can get. What do you mean? What is it not
I don't
prove?
know for sure. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're cherry picking.
No, I'm not cherry picking. You just took a job, right? Who takes a job and doesn't talk about the player that you essentially, by the way.
He doesn't talk about a lot of players unless he has to.
Whitey, he talks about, okay, this is what we do know. You want to do context clues? He talks about the young players. He talks about this thing is going to take a while, right? Those two things do not bode well for Domantas Sabonis.
Well, I don't argue with you. I don't disagree with you. They probably are open to moving him. I get it.
They're very open. And I think that they would make this move in this deal.
Do you think that the way Maxime Reynaud plays and the way Dylan Cardwell has played this year, that it makes them more open? Because you maybe think, this is what I think. Obviously, you got to base everything on what you're going to get back for him. But you've got two young centers, and you're about getting younger, and both the young centers are playing well, and they get more minutes if you move Domas. Of course, as you pointed out on social media and also on our outline, we also have seen Domas playing with the bigs.
Yes, and it
last
was
game since he came back.
It wasn't the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but it was their first time doing it, and kudos to Doug for getting them out there and letting us see it. I don't know how much it matters, Whitey.
I'm very surprised that we saw Sabonis with Dylan Cardwell before we saw Sabonis with Maxime Renaud.
I mean, Dylan plays winning basketball.
Yeah.
That's what Doug Christie said. Without the star eyes.
That was the star eyes emoji that Alan posted very disingenuously.
No, it's not. You know,
I always knew he had something.
I always knew he had it. I don't know how much it matters, Whitey, because I don't know that Scott Perry, I think he would probably say, hey, what Maxime Renaud and Dylan, what they're doing.
IE says, if we hit on a top 4 pick, let's keep Sabonis.
I don't doubt that, right? And that's the hybrid rebuild that I've been talking about. It's not about what I want. It's about what we've learned and what we've essentially been able to gather here. I don't disagree with that. And that is why I initially thought, especially with these injuries, that he was going to be here, specifically on top of the injuries that he had suffered, trying to get his mojo back, whatever you want to call it. But you got to strike while the iron's hot.
I don't know if you heard this. I mentioned this during the crossover, and I don't mean to be redundant, but I was talking with Jerry Reynolds a couple days ago. He literally called me up to make sure I was okay after the 49er game. So we started talking about the Kings and the trades and everything, and he says if the Kings trade Domantas Sabonis, they're going to miss him because Jerry feels that Domantas Sabonis is a really good player. And he said, look, he gets criticized for his defense, but he does one of the absolute most important things you can do on defense, which is get the freaking rebound.
Yeah. And I know some of Maxime and Dylan, they've been kind of doing their thing, rebounding as well. I will say this, because this is not, I am not negative on Domantas Sabonis. This is just me gathering the information as is our job. I would say this. Domantas Sabonis fit back in. There was a lot of questions about fit. Domantas Sabonis, in my opinion, fit back in. I know it was against the Wizards who stink, but he did fit back in more seamlessly than I thought. And he's been coming off the bench these last couple of games. But I thought that did bode well, not just for him on the Kings, but for other teams. I do think he's getting to a point where he's going to have to maybe understand where he fits into things. Everything is not going to be run through him, either whether it's in Sacramento or wherever he is next. But I did like what I saw, and I was a bit surprised, I know, against the Wizards who stink, but I was a bit surprised at how comfortable he did look right from jump after being injured for that time.
The Kings of late, I know it's not about winning these games, but the offense of late has been much better. And to my eye, they really do best offensively when they spread the floor, and I think they call it wide, and it's basically dribble, drive, motion, drive, and kick. That's not really what Domas is best at.
Yeah.
So that to me is like, well, okay, but to your point, I mean, he's played well, but I'm not sure that they want to build the offense around him, as we discussed last week, like they did when Mike Brown was here. And then if you're not going to do that, then it's like, well, is this really the best place for him?
Yeah.
Are we going to maximize his value if we're not really utilizing some of the things he does best?
Yeah. And if you think about it, and if we eliminate Jokic, can you name another team that runs their offense through their center?
You know, a lot of teams do it occasionally. The Warriors do a little bit, but no, not off. I'd have to look at it.
I do wonder if that was, I don't want to say a crutch, but going back to kind of private school offenses, it's kind of, hey, this is a Mike Brown bringing in, hey, this is a structure that we can all fit in, and we're all kind of trying to find our place here. So it was easy for them to kind of rely upon. A lot of these other teams, right, they got the Jalen Johnson, who actually, did you see Whitey? Because I guess he hasn't been great since they traded Trey Young, and somebody said, did the Hawks just trade their franchise guy for a Jeremy Lin run in Jalen Johnson? Because I said that. Well, I said it's not as if he even had a full season at this clip. I did say it was interesting, but those are the types of players, Adeni Avdias. That's where this whole thing is headed. So I do wonder if just that style of play has a ceiling, unless you just have a game breaker like Jokic. And if you look around the league, and if nobody else is doing it, that's normally a problem. And the only other team doing it has a top 3 player in the world, and the only center out of those top 3 players, you could argue Giannis, but you catch my drift.
I would like it if the Kings were able to work something out with the Warriors that was mutually beneficial, or if it was Kings beneficial. Mutually, I don't care. However, I don't like the chances of them doing that for this reason. To me, the Warriors, and you and I both were there for a while on the Warrior station, so we know a little bit about how they do things. They love the big names.
Yeah.
And I could see the Warriors saying, some of the players that we're talking about with the Kings, okay, but how about Karl Anthony Towns? Somebody like that. Yeah. I think they will try to get a bigger name than DeMar.
Yeah, even
I don't know if they'll get him, but I think they'll try.
Right. Even with the kind of depressed value from Jonathan Kuminga, I don't think you can go to that Warriors fan base and say, after all that, speaking of Karl Anthony Towns, after all that, they ended up moving Kuminga, even if they got Keon, right? They ended up moving Kuminga for DeMar DeRozan and Keon Ellis. I think Warrior fans would have a field day with that. And
that's a good point.
Not that it should matter that much.
Keon would make it more palatable.
It definitely. That's why I don't think they would do the deal without him, because that's you saving face. Hey, we got somebody that was going for a first rounder, and we got DeMar to help the scoring, so we actually improved. I don't think they necessarily need Keon because they got too many shooting guards anyway.
Unfortunately, right now, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but Keon Ellis is like a spare part on this team. He's not part of it. He should be, but he's not.
Yeah.
So if they traded him, I think they'd feel like, yeah, that's all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you're losing DeMar.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you're losing DeMar. I think this is a deal where both sides would be upset. I think Warrior fans would be mad at the return, and I think some Kings fans would be mad at the return. I do find it less and less. I always joke about the Harrison Barnes coming off the bench thing. I do think that Kings fans have been beat down a little bit on this Keon thing. Now he's been injured these last couple of games, so he hasn't even been playing. I do think they've been beat down enough.
Knee soreness?
Yeah, right. To where you're fighting a battle and it feels like there's no point in fighting the battle. The OG Kings battle that I recall, Whitey, when I first came out here was the Malik Monk starting. That was always a fun one. And they fought that one. I don't know that there's a fight that the Kings fans fought longer than that one. They won for like 6 months. They won, but and then at what cost?
Yes,
it costs
exactly.
It costs you everything. So
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's take Ken here on Sactown Sports. Hey Ken, thanks for hanging. You're on the drive, guys. What's up?
Hey, I just got a nickname for Dylan though.
Okay.
Wild card. Dylan Wildcard Cardwell.
Dylan Wildcard Cardwell.
Kind of the X factor, and it's his personality.
Dylan Wildcard.
Oh, wow, here comes a wild card. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, thank you, Ken. Yeah.
Thanks, Ken.
And remember, that's fine. We appreciate that. We're not actually looking for a nickname for him.
No.
As we are something specifically for his
I can hear Draper now. Oh, look at Dylan. He's going for the hype hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Here come the hype hands, baby.
That's the one. I don't know who's going to beat that. Not me.
Well,
not
it all
ChatGPT.
depends on what Mr.
Hey, did you get that from
Depends on what the wild card thinks.
Hey, who thought of that this weekend in basketball on the YouTube? The ChatGPT? I didn't get that one.
We'll come back with more on the Kings and potential deals. Also, why Robert Saleh is leaving the 49ers for the Titans? Are you kidding me? Next on Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Sometimes you need country music.
If I'm the problem,
Next time you have that feeling, check out New Country 105.1 KNCI, where you have 4 opportunities each weekday to win $1,000 and double your paycheck. New Country for Sacramento, 105.1 KNCI.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hoblet way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. Car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hoblet way. Experience the difference at HobletDodge.com. The easy way to buy.
At Big O Tires, now through January 25th, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tire store for pricing and book an appointment online today.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, has MLB fever grabbed the Valley? I know that we had 4 A's out for the last Kings game, and the Kings were selling Sacramento A's jerseys.
I saw
at
that.
the arena for the first time.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
it's going to be a big year for them.
Well, it's going to be a big night for the 2 newest members of the Hall of Fame. Who do we have, Alan? 2 newest Hall of Fame members just announced this afternoon.
We got Andrew Jones.
Yes.
And Carlos Beltran.
The former Giant.
That's right. Former Met as well.
Former Kansas City Royal.
That's right. 2 guys that, I did, like I said, as you get a little bit older, 2 guys I did grow up watching and kind of emulating. Definitely Andrew Jones, as well as Beltran. Beltran switch hitter. I thought, maybe I'll get into that. But, I do think.
Wasn't Beltran somehow involved with the Astros and
that's what I thought. There was something going on. He
was a coach, I think, on that team.
Yeah, but hey.
He was involved in the banging of the trash cans.
Right, but not enough, apparently.
Okay, yeah.
Not enough. Let him in.
Didn't impact his play on the field.
No, that's true. I mean, to be fair, he's not getting in as a coach. So there's your difference right there. But, 2 guys that I don't know when you first hear their name, you think Hall of Famer, but maybe Andrew Jones before Beltran. But I think, they can get in. It's good with me.
You know what I remember about Beltran? This isn't fair because he was an outstanding player for the Royals and the Astros and the Mets, and he was with the Giants briefly. The Giants, 2011, the year Buster got hurt, they're coming off that World Series win, and the deadline in, late July, it's like, well, they had to make a move because they're actually trying to, they were competing with Arizona that year, but they traded for Carlos Beltran. They traded Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
For Carlos Beltran, for a couple months of Carlos Beltran, who then went to the Cardinals.
Didn't
work out. They didn't win much that year.
No. And Zach
Wheeler ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good player.
Yeah, pretty good pitcher.
Pretty good pitcher.
But they went for it.
That's right. And that's what we're hoping the Warriors do in the way of DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
And maybe Domantas Sabonis. Those 2 guys.
That's a lot to give up.
It's a lot to give up.
Better get some real sugar.
Yeah.
If I'm taking Jimmy Butler back, I need a lot of sugar.
I agree. I don't love it, but I do love.
Because Jimmy will have no interest in playing for me.
No.
So I'll have to figure out, all right, well, let's get you your next play. I don't know. That doesn't.
He's off your books, though, at the end of that season.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Adam has been hanging on. Hey, Adam, what's up? You're on The Drive Guys.
Hey, fellas, how you doing? I got a trade proposal right up the line of what you're talking about.
All right, Alan loves trade proposals. Do you not, Alan?
No, seriously. I need to hear this. Whitey won't let me do them, so I need them from you, Adam.
That's what I'm here for. So here we got the Kings take on Jimmy Butler. Don't worry, we're flipping them next deadline. We also get Kuminga, Portis, and Moody. Warrior and 2 first-round picks from the Warriors. Warriors get Sabonis, DeRozan, Kuzma, and Keon, and the Bucks get Zach LaVine. Who says no?
What do you think, Alan? A lot of moving parts there. Thank you, Adam.
I feel like the Bucks.
That was my first.
But if the Bucks are only giving up Portis and Kuzma,
that was my first thought was, the Bucks will say no, but supposedly they want Zach LaVine.
Right, that was going to be the deal anyway. So.
Adam might actually be an NBA insider with that stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot for what the Kings and Warriors were getting back. But yeah, I was very simple with the Bucks part of it. Do it.
What did the Kings get again? They got
Kuminga.
I couldn't even keep
Portis.
Yeah.
They got Kuminga and Portis. So do it now.
And they also got Jimmy, right? But they're going to move him.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, and then the Warriors.
We'll keep an eye on it, Adam.
The Warriors got Kuzma and DeRozan. They get Sabonis?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually in. But like I said, I'm in on everything right now.
You don't actually remember all of it or exactly how it works, but you're in.
I remember
enough. In general.
I have photographic memory.
Just in general, you're in.
Yeah, I'm in. Thank you, Adam.
If I'm trading Sabonis, and I'm the Kings, of course, I need some really juicy draft capital coming back.
I don't know that you're going to get it.
Then I'm not sure I want to do any of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to engage in any of this silliness.
Would you just, to the point of the texter, would you wait and see what pick you got? And if you got unlucky and got the 7th pick, would you be more inclined to move Domantas Sabonis versus if you got top 3?
It would depend how much I like who I get at 7,
You're not going to like him that much.
I might. This year, I might. Obviously, he's not one of the top 3.
Right. If you got Caleb Wilson, somebody like that.
We'll talk about it later, and you can actually look it up at SactownSports.com. I crunched some numbers this weekend, and I looked at how often the teams with one of the 3 worst records actually end up with a top 3 pick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. It's
okay.
I understand people like Ramsey is one of these people who says, no, you can't trust the lottery.
Yeah.
And when I crunched these numbers, I was like, okay, I see what those people mean.
Yeah.
It's it almost literally it's a lottery.
It is.
Obviously you're
right.
Yeah.
Their games, I just know that the Kings, my stance has been, I know the Kings are going to lose enough games to be in the mix, right? Regardless of whether they have the best odds or not. I know they're going to be in the mix. And after that, you just pray to the basketball gods that it works out for you.
Yeah. See, I feel like if you're in the mix, and they are, and you're not really going to win anything of significance this year, you're going to win a few games here or there, but ultimately that's not going to matter. I might as well do what I can to make sure I get the best odds available.
Sure.
I know it doesn't guarantee me anything.
Sure.
But if they're available, if I'm in a lottery, I want the best odds I can get.
Sure. And I
especially when there's 3 potential franchise-altering players available.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I do wonder, though, if we're doing the thing, what was that, 2021? We were talking about Trevor Lawrence when 5 quarterbacks got taken and they all ended up stinking besides Trevor Lawrence, who took him, 6 years, right? I know they went to the playoffs, a year or so ago. But I do wonder if we're going in that direction. I don't think so. Basketball.
I don't think we are.
Basketball's different.
We won't know till we know, but I don't think so.
Yeah, basketball is different. And the other thing is
look at Cam Boozer. Most years would be the consensus number 1.
Right.
And now most people don't even have him at number 1.
Right. There's a lot of nitpicking going on with him. The idea, though, this is my thought on it, because I agree with you. This is why I've just been on the Scott Perry thing. Because if your team is your team, I understand it, right? If the Nets win too many games or if the Wizards win too many games, hey, they're young players and they're starting to figure something out. That's nice, right? The Jazz, you could put in that conversation with Markin and the crew. But with the Kings, you know where you're headed, right? You don't have anything, right? If the Wizards win too many games and fall out of the top 3, they got Alex Sarr. I mean, they got young guys already.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get where the Wizards were.
Yeah.
So to me, those guys accidentally winning games is one thing because at least you're building towards something. The Kings winning games, besides the feeling in the building and how electric it is, and fans, and obviously fans matter, but from an organization standpoint, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I also think we have to go back to that point about the 3 players in this draft, because Washington, you're right, they have some good young players. We just saw them here, some really good young players, but do they have the guy yet? I don't think so. And this year they might.
That's
this
true.
might be their best chance to get him.
I'm just saying,
but I agree with you.
It's tough because you're already in that position.
I agree with your larger point.
You're already in that position. Mm-hmm. The Kings have not put themselves in the correct position.
Yeah.
They weren't even supposed to be honest. Let's be honest. They weren't supposed to be this bad, the Kings. They suffered injuries, and it just didn't look right at times. They find themselves with an opportunity, and they got to take advantage of the opportunity.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's time for Check It with TC. What's up, TC?
Mic check.
How are you,
Yes,
TC?
sir. Yes.
Yeah. Say hi to Alan.
Whitey, what's popping, man? So check it out. What I got going on right now, we're just going to keep it real simple. Everybody throwing out trade ideas. I believe this is the most realistic one, right? So we got going to the Warriors, we got DeMar and Keon, right?
Uh-huh.
And we got coming back JK, TDJ, which is Trace Davis Jackson, and their first-round pick this year. We talking about Ellis ain't leaving for a first-round pick. Why the Warriors do it? Because they get 20 points. They get 20 points. They get 20 points guaranteed in DeMar DeRozan. Keon Ellis, they get a 3-and-D specialist who they needed. No, sir, on what? That trade?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know anybody said that. I didn't hear anybody say that. Did you say something, Ramsey? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Ramsey would have chimed in. He would have told me.
Yeah.
Think about that trade. DeMar DeRozan, Keon Ellis to Golden State for JK, TDJ, and their first-round pick. That's it.
I like
That's
it.
all I got.
Thank you, TC. I like it. Yeah. Now, by the way, I think it was Ramsey who.
Okay.
He said. Yeah, accidentally,
Okay.
TC. Ramsey accidentally waited. Alan and I couldn't even hear him.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
He said,
like, whoa, not me.
No,
not me.
sir.
Yeah,
No, sir.
No. But I don't have a problem with that deal. I just don't believe that the Warriors are going to give up a first-round pick.
Probably not. Probably not for that.
But
if they did, I would be, yes.
Yeah, I think when all sides, a little note when you're doing a trade, if nobody is saying no, it's probably an unbalanced trade. So I think all Kings fans would say yes to that.
Mm-hmm.
That means that trade needs to be tweaked a little bit. You can't do that first round. I just don't think they're going to give a first rounder. Not for Pods. A lot of people blaming Pods for the Jimmy Butler injury. He threw him a hospital ball.
Really?
Yeah. Because he threw that ball in the air and Jimmy had to try to get it. That was close. I like that one.
Yeah. If there's any way, I don't know, if there's any way I could get a 2026 another pick in this draft,
yep,
I would trade Domas. I'll drive him wherever I need to drive.
Yeah.
I think that's very unlikely because all the teams recognize what you could win in this draft. So I don't think you're going to get one.
No,
but,
this is the year, though.
Yeah.
This is the year to try to do it.
Aaron Peterson, baby.
Yeah. So that's your guy now.
He should be your guy. If he's not, watch him tonight. He's going to be
is he?
8 o'clock on ESPN. They play Colorado, I think.
If he plays.
Yeah.
I'll watch.
He'll play.
I'll watch.
He'll play out.
I got it on. I got it ready to go.
I think he's the only one of the big three that's playing tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll come back with a look at Robert Saleh. Why would he leave the 49ers for the Titans? What's up with that? We'll answer next on Sactown Sports.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free Gold IRA Info Kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
You seen this movie, Alan? Purple Rain?
Purple Rain?
Yeah. Isn't this the scene in the movie, isn't it? He's riding his bicycle to the lake or something.
Yeah.
It's just every time I hear this, that's what I think of. Yeah, man.
Trying to think of, the song when the movie starts. It's a good one. Because I don't know if I've seen the whole thing front to back to back.
Because you were not born when it came out.
Right. But I've seen seen enough of it that I got a shirt that says Purple Rain.
I know you do.
Yeah. That's right.
Because you wore it the day the Kings were playing the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, what are you doing wearing a Purple Rain shirt?
That's right.
Yeah.
But you got why. You understood what I was trying to do there,
This may be nitpicking, but I think it's important. There's a lot of talk now of how the Kings have been linked to the Warriors and the Warriors have been linked to DeMar DeRozan. Or there's rumors that the Warriors could turn to the Kings and DeMar DeRozan. There really aren't any rumors. And the only linking is that Shams apparently said they might turn their attention to DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
And that's fine for him to say that. But you know how these things get aggregated, and every time it gets aggregated, it's like it gains more credibility. Pretty soon they're deep in talks.
Right.
And it's like, no, they're not. So
it's a snowball effect.
Yes.
Very similar, Whitey. We have this from ESPN, Jeremy Fowler, and I think we talked to him at the last Super Bowl too. Shout out Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano said they believe the Eagles will trade A.J. Brown and predicted to be the Bills, but ... they named San Francisco as a potential trade option.
Does he block
A.J. Brown
at all?
When he wants to. If you only throw the ball to him.
That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah. I don't know what Kyle would do with an elite wide receiver. I don't know. This would be a good year for it though with no Kittle. Because I don't think A.J. Brown can play with Kittle because Kittle gets the ball a lot.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're right to do this, but no block, no rock is not just a saying there. And
Get over.
When Antonio Brown was still Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
and he was looking for a new team, the 49ers looked at him and they heard a story that somebody asked him on the sidelines during a Steeler game, like, why didn't you block? And he's like, I don't block all the time, or I do when I want to. And for the 49ers, like, well, we're out on him then.
I believe A.J. Brown does block. He's one of those guys where when he is engaged, he's a baller. You just got to keep him engaged. But, yeah, going back to the DeMar DeRozan thing, yeah, of course it caused fire. Here's the kicker that you'll know. A lot of these guys, when they have real reports, it'll be written, right? So, for example, NBA Central is one of the biggest aggregators on social media. When they give you the Shams quote, it just says in parentheses at the bottom via ESPN, and it's not even tagged or anything. If it was an actual, hey, this is happening, Shams immediately puts out an article.
Right.
Or there'd be, they'd at least have like the video, the quote. So to your point, that's how, if you're at home and you're wondering what's real and what's not, these guys, if they don't, even if it's a Shams 10-line article, they put it in writing if it's a real report.
Yeah, and I'm not accusing Shams of anything. He just said they might turn their attention to DeMar DeRozan.
No, you got to have conversations. He's having a conversation.
Right. And as I said, I believe Anthony Slater has a piece, he was on with Malik Andrews, where he said the Warriors are proceeding with trying to, restore the relationship with Kuminga and maybe get him on the floor. That's not going to work, but yeah.
I don't believe that.
By the way, I know what it was with Antonio Brown. He told a coach on the sidelines once, I'm not blocking today. And when the 49ers heard that, I was like, well, we don't want him.
Good decision.
We don't want him.
Yeah, good decision by the
I don't know about Ricky P, though. He's not healthy.
He can dance, though.
Yeah?
He can. That man be dancing before every game. Him, Kendrick Bourne, they dancing. They don't play. But
I think it's
Kendrick plays.
Kind of frustrating that the 49ers' issues at the end of the year, and they had a great year, I know, all things considered, but their issues were the same issues they had before the season started. I know injuries played a big role in, boring a hole in the defense, but we talked about the receivers and the offensive line before the season even started. And here we are. Obviously, again, a defensive line is always a point of emphasis for them, and they addressed that in the draft, but they had some injuries. But still, going into the draft, they got to look at offensive linemen and receivers, right? You would think.
Yeah.
So why do you think Robert Saleh would leave that 49er team and go to become the head coach of the doomed, the cursed Tennessee Titans? Why, Alan? Why?
Well, the last time he left, he went to the Jets, and that was pretty close to a disaster. But the Jets, huge market, right? They're kind of the little brother out there. Don't let a Jets fan hear that. They're kind of the little brother out there. Little brother in a big market is tough. Ask anybody connected to the Clippers. So he was in that, or the Brooklyn Nets for that matter. So he was in that situation, and it didn't work out. He gets to go to a Tennessee Titans team where I would say this, he doesn't have to do much for this thing to get turned around or for him to look better or in a better light than when he was in New York. New York, Zach Wilson, then you get Aaron Rodgers, and everybody was confused as to what to look at. You look at
I don't know how much say he had in either of those quarterbacks.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. But you look at Liam Cohen, great story. Now everybody's saying, look at the Jaguars, right? It's a lower ball. I know the Colts kind of, the injuries happen and things like that, but with Steichen, but look at the Jaguars, look at Canales. They were ready to get him out of town. They make the playoffs in a weak NFC South. And wow, look, Bryce Young gets to keep his job and so does Canales. So I think that you take the job because you're not really looking to win a Super Bowl, right? It's almost, Whitey, is it disrespectful? I'm sorry to any Titan fans out there. Oh, Kayla Anderson, it's almost a stepping stone NFL job in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's, I don't really have to.
He still has to prove he's an NFL
exactly,
head coach.
But all you got to do, get to a playoff, get a winning record.
Yeah.
Be a wild card and lose in the wild card. It doesn't matter. The bar is so low out there that I think that's why he felt more comfortable taking this job. Some of the other ones out there, obviously Harbaugh, but he takes that Giants job. There's going to be some huge expectations. We don't even know if Jackson Dart is good, right? But there's some huge expectations. A couple of the other, the Steelers job and some of these other jobs.
I still don't think he has the pedigree to really be considered for a job like that.
And if
maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
And if he did get it, he'd be looking over his shoulder every single week. So he gets to go to the Titans, kind of rebuild himself a little bit, just get to a playoffs, have a good, have Cam Ward figure out some things. It's a weaker division. So I think it makes sense, Whitey, even though it's not the sexiest name. I think that's the point.
There's good opportunities for him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the money they have, all the cap space they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you say, you do anything there and you look like a genius.
Right. And everyone's saying, oh, look how he turned around the Titans. That's all he had to do. Whitey, I'm trying to look here for your boy that you brought up. I'm trying to look here where the Niners kind of went wrong. So it actually was a pretty sketchy draft in 2024 for wide receivers. Marvin Harrison, he might be a bust. I think he hates football. Whenever you just never see him smile. Malik Neighbors, good. Mm-hmm. That was number 6.
He's really funny in the IHOP commercial.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's really good, yeah.
Yeah, he is. I hope you didn't take him on your fantasy team. Mm-hmm. You get Rome Odunze at 9. I don't know how good Rome Odunze is, to be honest with you. Brian Thomas at 23, and he had a great breakout season, 2 years ago? This past season, he kind of got Wally pipped a little bit, and then they had to go get my guy from the Raiders. Xavier Worthy at 28, and then you had Ricky Pearsall at 31. But to be fair, Xavier Legette at 32 is even worse than Ricky. So it just wasn't a great draft. You got Ladd McConkey, the first player picked in the second round. Maybe is Ladd better than Ricky?
Well, those are all great points, but there's also the fact that they totally botched the Ayuk situation.
Well, that too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to get one of those things right.
Yeah.
If you're going to, and Ricky's not a bust, but if you're not going to have, the best wide receiver, you got to figure out the Ayuk thing. But yeah, this was terrible, Whitey. Ladd McConkey, the first pick in the second round, or the second pick in the second round. Then you get Jalen Polk on the Patriots, who I don't even know if he's still in the league. And yeah, so it was, to be a little bit fair, you get AD Adonai Mitchell, who's now on the Jets, already traded. So to be fair to
Wasn't he the guy when he was on the Colts, he dropped the ball before he got into the end zone against the Rams?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Here's the other thing, though, and I'll just close with this. The argument is you didn't have to take a wide receiver. That's probably the better argument than I think the Chargers got with somebody that was a really good offensive lineman. But I think that's the argument, not that you took the wrong wide receiver. You just shouldn't have taken one.
Yeah. I think his knee is injured worse than a lot of people were led to believe that second half of the year. So jury's not out on Ricky P, but they just, as you said, you watch them play. And I noticed it the previous playoff weekend. You're just watching other teams. Actually, I think it was the last week of the regular season. And there seems like these teams aren't very good, but the receivers are like way better than anybody on the 49ers.
Yeah. And I mean, the Juwan Jennings thing was always confusing. You thought he could take a leap. Didn't really happen. But I do think there will be, if they do trade for a big name receiver, I do think Kyle will have to, it's the same thing we talked about with a quarterback that's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And obviously Brock is, but he still kind of fits that mold of I'm going to do what Kyle wants me. Like, I don't know what Kyle would do with a Cam Ward or somebody like that, or Caleb Williams, for example. But I think it's the same thing with the wide receivers. When's the last time Kyle called a go route? Like, I don't know. And it's not for lack of trying. Cowing, Danny Gray, they just haven't hit.
Yeah. When they get the guys that are fast, they think that, watch this. We'll get this guy way late in the draft, and it'll be great. It's like, no, there's a reason why no one else picked him. They're not that good.
Yeah. And you never see them, ever.
Real quick, somebody on the text line went back over that trade from Adam. Just to summarize it real quickly here, and according to the trade machine, it works. Milwaukee Bucks get Zach LaVine. The Warriors get Sabonis, DeRozan, Kuzma, and Ellis. So the Kings trade away Sabonis, DeRozan, Ellis, and LaVine, and they end up with Jimmy Butler, Kuminga, Portis, Moody, Tayshaun Prince, Trace Jackson Davis.
That's a whole new team.
That's not a very good one.
Now that you see it on paper,
I would not do that.
No. By the way, just so y'all know, Moses Moody, he's kind of stuck in the mud. So I know a lot of people wanted Moses Moody in that draft, everybody talks about Kuminga because it was the same draft, but Moses Moody is not. He ain't bad, but it's nothing to write home about.
Trade talk today continues when we come back. Also, we'll look at how Mike Brown's soft landing has gotten a lot harder lately. Drive, guys. Don't go away.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. With Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kings taking on the Heat tonight. The Heat will be weary having been cuffed around by the Warriors last night, Alan. So get that beam ready. That's all I'm saying. How about any trades for the Kings with the deadline approaching? Kimberly, hope your recovery's coming along nicely, Kimberly. Kimberly says, don't be surprised if we don't make any major trades this season. I think we're waiting for contracts to expire. So for now, we just have to be happy with Hype Hands, Caldwell, and the Beam Boys.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And you know nobody's happier about the Beam Boys than me.
Well, Gavin C. says Kings have to make a move, even if it's small, to keep people from revolting. if the Kings do anything just small, that's not going to quell any revolt.
No, I don't think so. I mean, the only thing, right, if they move Devin Carter for 2 second-rounders, I don't think anybody is happier or not. Why do I have this, though, from your bestie, Carmichael Dave? So now they have their own crosstalk now with Matt George and Carmichael Dave, because Matt's leading into that show.
I know that used to be your
Yeah, so their relationship is growing and blossoming, and that's all fine and good. So Matt George had that poll where he said Warriors get Domantas Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan, Kings get Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga, who says no, and 54% of people, Kings fans, said no to that deal.
Good, I'm with them.
45.7 said yes. So then Carmichael Dave quote tweets him and says, how about this one instead? It's Jimmy Butler and Kuminga, but it would be, instead of Sabonis, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And again, trying to figure out what exactly the Kings want, or excuse me, what the Warriors want. Yeah, I would push back on Dave to say that's a situation where I don't know that the Warriors, again, in theory, I guess it makes sense.
You're being nice. Come on, Dave.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's a couple reasons why it's ridiculous. I don't know. Can the Warriors be the team to say, oh, we're going to do the Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan thing? Basically, you just can't put them in a deal together. And we were talking about the optics. You cannot lose Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga for those guys. I don't even care if it's a better deal than Domantas Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan. You can't do it. Like, those guys are tainted from the Chicago to Sacramento thing. Mm-hmm. And they would never do that.
I don't think so. I think you're right.
Never. And I'm not saying it's not a better deal than DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is you can't. Mike Dunleavy Jr. cannot do that.
That sounds to me like Dave pandering a little bit. Like, how about this, Kings fans? Here's a trade that's really good for the Kings and not so great for the other team. What do you think? Come on, Dave.
Yeah,
we're all better than that.
Yeah. Would you do it if you were a Kings fan, though?
Sure.
Yeah, I would too. But again,
of course,
again, back to trades. If everyone from one side says yes, it's probably not a balanced trade.
Right. I agree with you. By the way, we talked a lot about Mike Brown last week as he rolled into the Goal One Center for the first time since being relieved of his duties. The Knicks had been playing well. They ain't playing well right now, Alan. There's a lot of unhappy people, unhappy Knicks fans in the Big Apple. They lost yesterday to the Mavs at home, 114-97. New York Knicks have now lost 9 of 11, and there's a lot of unhappy people there.
Yeah.
And there's players that just don't seem to be playing well together. They don't seem to be playing with any intensity, and things have soured on Mike Brown. Remember when they won the in-season tournament?
Yeah.
Like, this is the greatest coach ever. Here we go. We're competing for a title. And now they may have to kick it into gear to stay out of the play-in.
I think I know they were the 3 seed last season, the Lakers, but I was going to say, this NBA Cup got a hex on it. The Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks won it. After that, Dame goes down. Now Giannis might be done.
I think you're onto something there.
The Lakers,
this
right?
Is factual. Yes.
You still get Luka, but what are they doing? They've been struggling now. Now you have the Knicks. This whole thing is
and they were doing
tailspinning.
well until they won the stinking in-season tournament.
I'm telling you. And by the way, if you're curious, because he had been injured, Jalen Brunson did play. He did play against the Mavs, and they lost.
Because he got hurt here, right?
Mm-hmm. And they kind of got smacked. It was 114-97.
Yes, and it was ugly.
Yeah.
I was watching the Knicks, and it was like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the one thing, as we were talking about Robert Saleh. This is a perfect example. We were talking about Robert Saleh and the Titans. Low expectations, right? Hey, when we get to the dance and see what happens from there. And I don't say that to say Titans never want to win a Super Bowl, but you got to crawl before you walk. The Knicks, on the other hand, they've already crawled and walked, and they're trying to sprint. And this is a huge season.
Oh, yeah. Mike Brown went in there where anything short of a title will be a failure.
Yes. Halliburton comes back. Tatum might be back this season. Keep seeing videos of him playing. If you do not win this, Whitey, let's just put the rat on the table. Mike Brown will be fired. If they don't make the finals, how about that?
Maybe. I mean, he's the one they picked because they're kind of over a barrel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think this season will be considered a failure. I don't know. Well, I agree with you in spirit.
You have to get to the finals. You don't got to win them, I don't think.
The way things are going now, yes, because things are unraveling.
Yeah.
You don't win, that's one thing, and we know those were the expectations. But if they're playing badly, then yeah.
Well, because you lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's already a softer East.
Yeah.
So you probably would have lost to, what, the Pistons, who would have leapfrogged you, or, the Raptors? I don't even know who you would, or the Cavs, who they've been stinking too. So this is a bad situation. Or you lose to the Celtics without Tatum.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Mm-hmm. The Knicks, by the way, right now, they're third still, but they're 7 games behind Detroit, and they're only a game and a half ahead of the 7th place Cleveland Cavaliers.
Man.
Yeah. They've lost 4 in a row and 8 of 10. So all the best to Mike Brown. Mm-hmm. And they're still upset not only about the way the team is playing, but that whole thing about how he hugged Draymond Green after Draymond Green intentionally fouled Cat.
Yeah. It wasn't great timing.
No, that was a misplay there on his part.
When I first saw it, I tried to defend it in my mind for Mike, but it just can't happen.
No.
That timing,
I don't know what he's supposed to do, like shove Draymond away or what, but
yeah.
It was he didn't handle it.
Because that's what Draymond knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you talk about, look, we get a show every day. Every time I open, I know you click on something in the algorithm, Draymond has to be putting out 2 episodes a day. Every time I open social media, there's a new Draymond quote. And I don't click on that many because there's so many now. But it's ridiculous now. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous.
I've started tuning him out just because I know he's very intelligent. But to your point, there's just so much he's pumping out there. It's like, I know all of this can't be good.
No, it's not good. It's not good. But, yeah, Mike Brown, we're wishing you the best. But, you take these high. And what's he supposed to do? Say no to the Knicks, right? You got to take the job.
And he's got time.
He's got time.
But there's a lot of bad signs there's grumbling about, the players aren't really adjusting to the role in the offense, which means they don't really like the offense.
Well, they just stop messing around and go get Jay Wright. You want to do the Villanova thing. Oh, the Villanova. Oh, yeah, we love Jay Wright and his suits. Just go get him. I can't stand Villanova. That's why I can't stand the Knicks, because half the Villanova roster is on the Knicks. They finally got rid of DiVincenzo. Just go get Jay Wright. Just go.
Well, they probably gave it a run. Probably made a run at it.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
But Jay Wright's like, I'm not taking that job.
Mm-hmm. If you're the Kings, do you make a run at Miles Bridges? It's been suggested today on X. I don't even know if it's been reported. Yeah, I think it was reported that the Kings are among the teams that have had exploratory talks with the Charlotte Hornets about Miles Bridges.
No, I don't. And I know that DeMar DeRozan and the Clippers, that had been something that we were trying to manifest. But if anything, no baggage. I'm just going to go get John Collins and do that deal if the Clippers will have it. We're not even really discussing what the Hornets would want back. I don't know what the Hornets would want back.
Yeah, and I will say this too. I think exploratory talks, you should be having those with everybody,
right,
about everyone.
Yeah.
Well, it may look like, oh, the Kings are linked now to Charlotte. Well, they should be having those kind of conversations with every team out there.
Yeah.
What do you got? All right, well, let's kick some things around.
Right. If we're talking Charlotte, you need to go get LaMelo.
No.
That's what you need to do.
No, you don't.
If I'm making any call to the Charlotte area code, it's for one player.
Why?
It's for LaMelo.
Why? You want to lose? Do you want to lose games?
No.
Do you want to lose games or do you want to win games?
I think you can get LaMelo in a situation where he's closer to home. He's back on the West Coast. He's still young. I would do it.
Does that make him care, though? It make him happy.
Why do you think he doesn't care?
Because all the scouts say he doesn't care. He's not serious. You watch him play and you can see he's not really serious about it. Other than that, I got nothing.
I will send you there is a link out there. It's called LaMelo Winning Plays. And it's kind of trying to debunk this narrative about him that he's a AAU player or he still thinks he's at Chino Hills. And we have to make a decision here. And you're pretty consistent, so I'll give you that with the Jonathan Kuminga thing, right? But the Jonathan Kuminga thing to you is not as much his mentality as much as you don't think he's that good. Period.
It's both.
It's
But I
both.
think where we could find common ground is, again, if we look at all these players in terms of the pillars.
Exactly. No,
And
I
think
would agree.
they both fall short.
But if I'm taking a chance on someone who, we're trying to get to the pillars, I'm taking a chance on LaMelo before Kuminga.
If those are my two choices, I'm already in trouble.
No, you're not.
Which of the pillars do you think LaMelo checks?
Well, I think
Is he tough? Is he defensive oriented? I don't think he is. He's very talented. And he's fun to watch.
But there are a couple ways to look at this. Do we need guys to come in if you are under the age of 25, right? You're still growing. Some of you, not me, but some of you, you're still growing, right? So do you have to come in already fitting those pillars? Like, to me, Miles Bridges is 27. He's a grown man.
If you're
It's a little bit
27 and you're not, I don't know, what's the word, adhering to any of those pillars, or that's not the way you play, you're not going to just, okay, I'm 27 now, and now I'm going to be that type of player.
Right, but LaMelo at
that's
20,
stuff that most guys, I think, in high school, it's intrinsic.
But LaMelo at 23, that's different to me. And I think he has enough talent to take that chance. You don't have to, but if we're sitting here talking about Kuminga, now obviously it would cost more than Kuminga. But there's a question of the pillars, whether you have to already fit them for Scott Perry to make a deal, or whether you think we can get him there.
Well,
Ja Morant, to me, what is he, 26? Like, Ja Morant, to me, I wouldn't touch.
I would take Ja way before I'd take LaMelo, and I don't want either one of them. But if those are my choices, give me
Kevin.
I want Ja.
No.
Yes.
You don't.
Ja has
I want
proven,
diversity of thought, but with unity of purpose.
Ja has proven that he cares about winning. And maybe not always, but he has shown it, and he's been a winning player in big games.
I think you're just kind of getting caught up in the narratives.
I don't even pay attention to the narratives.
You
I
are.
know what I see, and I've seen him play.
No.
Do you know who David Thorpe is? David Thorpe is a coach, and he's an individual coach. He works with players on an individual basis. He's not a coach of a team. And I remember talking to him at our old station, and it was right before the draft that year, because it was 2020, and the three top prospects were Ant and Wiseman and LaMelo. And he said, and LaMelo, of course, had played for the Kookaburra Hawks or whatever team it was. I think that might have been it. And David Thorpe said, was that Ibarra? Illawarra Kookaburras. No, whatever it is. Thank you, Ramsey. David Thorpe said then, he said, I've seen video of this guy, and he just doesn't want to win. I wouldn't pick him. And I remember I was like, really? You could tell that from how he's playing, in Australia? But that's what he told me 6 years ago. And I think he was right. LaMelo is an extremely talented player who's a lot of fun to watch. I think he really likes being a pro basketball player. The dirty work stuff you have to do to be a pro basketball player, I don't think it really concerns him. And that's his right. Good for him. But I just don't want to hitch my wagon to that guy, especially, Alan, if that guy's going to be my point guard and run my offense. That's not the type of player I want doing that.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. You go get him. Hey, I love your brother's music.
No, you don't. He was born in August.
He's no Lonzo. Let me put it that way.
Okay, well,
Lonzo is tough.
Okay. Whitey.
Yeah.
They're all kind of cut from, they're brothers.
So?
They're brothers. He's 24. He turned 24 in August. Okay. He turned 24 in August. If you look at what he was drafted into and who Ja Morant has had, Depoy, Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr., All NBA guy, Desmond Bane, he got the bag because he was balling out. Just the situations that he was drafted into. I'm making a call for LaMelo. I'm not giving up the farm. I'm not giving up a 2026 pick for LaMelo.
You may not have to. I mean, that's one reason why you would consider it.
And the other thing is, too, this point guard conversations that we've been having, I don't know that LaMelo, as we always say, yeah, he's getting paid a good bit of money right now. Not as much as some of the other guys that are out there. I don't even think as much as Ja. But I still don't know that he's your ribeye. I still don't know that he is your main course. I think that
he's going to have the ball all the time if he's on your team.
He is going to have the ball all the time, but you can still put guys around him where as he is still growing as a young player, he just needs some guardrails, right? Ja has had guardrails, and he again, trying to even keep it on the court. I know they both have a bunch of injury history. I don't know. I'll take the guy that you can try to instill some of your pillars in that can shoot, right? And that is 6'7". And is 3 years younger. I'm going to take that guy. And figure the rest out later. Before Ja. I can't believe you said Ja.
Ja over again.
I cannot believe you said
I'm
that.
good without either one of them, but if I have to pick one of them, Ja's my guy over LaMelo every day of the week.
Like, you go get LaMelo, right? And then the next draft, let's say the Kings get lucky. Adam Silver just really likes the Kings. I'm just kidding. But you get Domantas, okay? You get a top 3 pick. Now you have LaMelo and Domantas. LaMelo doesn't necessarily have to be like the De'Aaron Fox. He could be your souped-up De'Aaron Fox. I don't necessarily want to be Batman, right? I can be Robin, but a really good Robin. I'm not looking at LaMelo to be the captain leader right now. We'll see what happens in a couple years.
I have serious questions as to whether he's a winning basketball player. That's why
But again, does he not dive on the ground enough, right? I mean,
I have serious questions as to whether he really cares about winning. I would not want him to be my point guard.
Again, there's still enough on this rookie extension that I would take the chance. This is the same stuff that I would always say about Ben Simmons. I said Ben Simmons likes what basketball brings him, but he does not like basketball. That's different than LaMelo. I think LaMelo likes playing basketball. LaMelo likes the fun stuff from basketball.
Yeah.
Right? I would still take the chance to figure out if we can get him to buy into some of the – because I think Kuminga also only likes the fun stuff in basketball too. Right? These guys with the G League Ignite and the AAUs, that's what they want to do.
You may be right.
Right? So I would still take the chance on the rookie extension to see if we can get him to buy in. I would do that. And again, I'm not trying to give up 5 first-rounders, but I would still take that chance. Ja, there's no deal I would do. Not a one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're gonna. And I know that they have been linked to Memphis, and sure the Kings have probably asked here or there, hey, what's going on with this? And that's fine. But I don't want either one of those guys.
Okay, that's fair.
And the Kuminga stuff is interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just real quick.
Yeah.
You got to keep this in mind.
Okay.
What you just said, we were going to discuss later with the lottery, how lucky or unlucky the lottery can be. Then you have to draft someone that can actually play at the NBA level.
Yeah.
All that other stuff, I got me a Doug Christie who looks like a leader of men, specifically young men that are coming up. He's got that vibe. I got a Scott Perry who's been around this game for a long. He's seen his share of LaMelos before. I think you do the deal if it's out there because you don't know if anybody in this draft, they're supposed to be. First of all, you got to figure out if you get a top 3 pick or whatever. It's just not that easy to come by the type of talent that LaMelo has.
There's at least 3 guards in this draft that I would take over LaMelo in a heartbeat.
You can, but that doesn't mean that they'll be as good.
I think they will be. They already.
Okay.
Darren Peterson right now might be the best guard on the Kings if they had him.
Okay.
He might be.
All right. I like to see them play in the NBA. You're the guy.
That's fair.
But if that's
totally
the point,
fair.
then Fernando Mendoza is going to be ranked top. He's going to be ranked above NFL quarterbacks next season. Hasn't taken a snap. I hate when they do that.
Okay, I didn't do that.
But you would do that. You are doing that.
I didn't do that.
You are.
I'm just telling you.
Is Darren Peterson better than Dennis Schroeder? You're doing it.
I didn't answer.
But you're doing it.
He might be. That's obviously with the experience, probably not right now, but he's going to be way better.
He's going to be.
Yeah.
But he's not right now.
I had to think about it. It's unknowable.
Okay.
Let me get back to after he plays against Colorado tonight.
Well, I know. I am locked in.
I think against Baylor, what was that? Was it Saturday? He was 26 points on 11 of 13.
Okay. And then he's taking himself out. Yeah, you don't like LaMelo, but Darren Peterson's taking himself out and checking in and checking out.
Darren Peterson's making sure he doesn't do anything to screw up his big payday.
Here's a couple shots for you.
Payday.
Here's a couple shots for you, Whitey. All right, now I'm going to go to the bench.
He's a much more serious basketball player than your guy LaMelo.
It's not my guy LaMelo. I got to watch this game tonight. My wife's going to come, hey, can you feed the baby? No, I can't feed the baby. I can't change a diaper. I need to watch every minute of this game for Whitey Gleason.
You can't watch every minute of the game because you got to watch the Kings, too.
They're still on my phone. They can get to my laptop They're on my laptop. I'm sorry, Kings. And I'm going to be in the building tomorrow, too.
Okay.
So, look, man. I'm just saying, it's official when I'm in the – I haven't been in the building in a very long time. But I'm in the building tomorrow because I want to see them play the R.J. Barretts of the world and guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me started, Whitey. I cannot believe what you were saying.
Well, TC says Peterson will be a locker room cancer, mark my words, and not that good in the league. Since when does Kansas players ever panned out in the league other than Paul Pierce? I'm waiting. And then Locke says – Alan obviously has never seen LaMelo play because he has cheeks.
I'm just saying, can I just say it out loud? We've known LaMelo, and this is, you know what? I think this is a great situation to bring this up, okay? Because I do believe that guys that get brought up in different situations that we know from when they are kids, you still see LaMelo, and I'm not saying you, Whitey, I'm saying in general. I'm saying the public still sees LaMelo, and I know he's got all the tattoos now, and I sound like my mom still to this day. Oh, I don't really know why they do the tattoos. I don't know, Mom, right? It's like, don't ask me. I don't know. But you still see the kid with the braces and the Odell Beckham hair from Chino Hills taking shots from 50 feet out.
The parking lot.
You still see that kid a little bit. Right? I'm not saying I sit here and watch a bunch of Hornets games. I had to get rid of NBA League Pass. I got 2 kids now. But I do understand why a lot of people have that in their brain. But the reality to me is that he is improving as a basketball player, and situations matter. Situations do matter.
Poor Boys asks, how do you want Ja but not Bridges when they both come with baggage? My answer to that is I've seen Ja. He was a borderline great player for a period.
Yeah, yes.
He was borderline a great player.
Right. I don't want either of them, but I would take Ja because, we've seen Ja at his height. Bridges is at best such a really good role player, right? I mean, he's PJ Washington. Again, going back to Pokemon, they're all the same Charizard, Charmeleon, Charmander.
Yeah. TC says, don't shy away from my comment, please. All right, TC. I mean, you may have a point there.
That's right. Get him,
Danny
TC.
Manning.
Mic check.
Was not great. Of course, our guy Wiggins. But I don't see how that, to me, doesn't make sense. Well, if a guy goes to Kansas, he can't be a good pro. Maybe historically that's been true.
Okay.
But that's not a thing.
It's not a thing anymore, specifically with the transfer portal. Okay, that's definitely not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of, with the national championship ending, I saw this and it said, you know what's a fun thing guys just do in their free time? They'll just call out, and I remember doing this, Whitey, growing up. You know what I'm going to say? You call out a player and somebody guesses where they went to school or say, oh, so-and-so went here, or Jordan, North Carolina, all that. I think the transfer portal, I know that you have to end at some point, but the transfer portal kind of ruined that game in general. And that makes me very sad. I mean, that was a staple growing up.
Really?
That makes me really sad. But think about it. In 10 years, if the rules stay like this, the idea of Kansas players not going wherever, whatever.
Right.
Well, he was actually at Stanford for a year.
Like,
and
then
Kansas,
Tennessee players are never any good.
Well, exactly. It's like, but he started at Kansas, though. Like the whole thing with the quarterbacks, like Ohio State quarterbacks. Oh, well, Joe Burrow, we finally got our guy.
Yeah.
But he was at LSU when he won. So I just had to say that with the national championship. I'm glad we got there. Shout out LaMelo, future king.
No, please, no. Don't wish that or say that, even as a joke.
I'm telling you. You want to go back to the playoffs? Domantas, LaMelo, Keegan. Sabonis probably gone in that deal. Your boy Cardwell, Maxime. Come on, man. Come on.
That sounds like a 10 seed to me.
Hey,
I don't know if you're going to get
you
through
win
to
and you're
play-in.
in.
I don't know. We'll come back with a look at how the 49ers can keep up in the brutal NFC West. And the LaMelo trade talk, how did that start? That rolls on as well with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line Dancing Live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblet Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITVFest.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Purchase a new 2026 Chevrolet Trax for just $299 per month plus tax. The Trax delivers more for less with a sleek design, impressive fuel economy, and tech that keeps you connected. Conveniently located in Elk Grove, just minutes from Sacramento. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
This is from last November. An anonymous Western Conference scout on LaMelo Ball. Okay, Alan? Last November.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, yes, he's talented, but he doesn't take basketball seriously enough. It's hard to build a winner with him because of how he plays and the liberties he takes for himself when he plays. He went on to say, would someone take a flyer on him? For sure, but Charlotte isn't taking a flyer price for him. This scout also said, quote, this I don't think you'll hate this part. If you're asking me if Trey, John, LaMelo all came onto the trade market tomorrow, I think LaMelo would have the best market, but that's all hypothetical right now. That's an anonymous Western Conference scout on your guy,
right?
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, and what we've been continuing to say is, hey, you don't know what you're going to be able to get in the draft. You don't know what the draft picks are going to turn into. So when you do have somebody that you know can perform at a high level in the NBA, people are going to take chances on that. I think the difference is we haven't seen Ja get back there, and LaMelo's game is just a little bit different. You know, he can shoot the basketball. He's bigger. Ja, it's not as, for LaMelo, it's not as pressing when it comes to his athleticism, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not kind of basing it all on that. Ja was. So that's why I would take LaMelo over Ja. And I would just look at LaMelo in general because you are getting younger. He is 24. And if you trust the system and the structure that you're trying to build, you know, especially being in Sacramento, I do think you'd have to think about it because it's just not that easy to come by that type of talent. I'm not saying it would work.
Do you think that Ja's going to get traded?
I do think so. The only reason I feel like the Grizzlies wouldn't do it is to try to build up his trade value because right now it's looking like Trae Young, which I don't think they want.
I think that it gets muddy because supposedly, based on what I've read, Ja has come out and said, I don't want to get traded. But others have said, well, the reason he's not playing is not because of the coach, it's because of him. He said he won't play. So if he didn't want to play, then that would imply, he may be trying to pull one of those Giannis things where like, I can't wait to get out of here. But publicly, I love it here.
Right.
I don't want to look like the bad guy.
Right. Or he's saying,
I just have a hard time seeing any team look at that and go, yeah, that's worth the risk / fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not traded, but unless Memphis is just like, yeah, we gotta get out from under him.
Well, I mean, you have to do something. I mean, it almost sounds like he's
Miami. I think would be a good spot for him.
Yeah, structure,
in theory, yeah.
Right? The Heat culture. I don't know that Eric Spoelstra would feel like dealing with it, but yeah, I would say, that's somewhere that it could work out for him. When you look at the situation that Ja's in right now, Whitey, it almost feels like he's saying, I want to play, but I'm not playing for Isalo. Right, and there was a report that some Grizzlies players maybe felt this was before the not the beatdown in Berlin, but the kind of argument in Berlin that Ja had with one of the other players. But yeah, it almost feels like Ja is saying it's me or him, knowing that this team who just moved on from Taylor Jenkins is going to pick the coach. So that's his way of saying, get me out of here without saying, get me out of here.
By the way, someone's coming after me saying I dodged their comments, which I hadn't seen. Mustache Spider says LaMelo Ball's career averages are 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. He's been Rookie of the Year and is 6'7". If you had this information without his name, you'd take this, Whitey. Now, I hadn't seen that. Then he came back with, I appreciate Whitey ducking my comments because he's wrong. No, the name has not. I don't have anything against any of the Lonzo or LiAngelo or even LeVar. LeVar raised his kids.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of a little blowhard, but I don't have anything against any. It's the name has nothing to do with it.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, again,
it's just you're naming counting stats without looking at the numbers that to me really matter. We're not going to get bogged down in it, but those, yeah. He's on a bad team. Everybody on a bad team. Every bad team has somebody who's going to score a lot of points, and he scores a lot of points, gets a lot of assists and rebounds because he always has the ball.
Yeah.
His shot selection is brutal, Mustache Spider. And if you knew this, you would agree with me. Sorry.
Again.
Yeah.
If you're in Sacramento,
you're
not getting star free agents. You're praying to get a hit in the draft. And by the way, the numbers do suggest that even if you're a top 3 in percentages, you could still not get the number 1 pick or number 2 pick.
Alan, how many times since the NBA went to the odds the way they are now, where the bottom 3 teams have the same odds? It started in 2019. Since then, how many times has a team with a bottom 3 record gotten the first pick?
Well, you wouldn't be asking me if it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say...
I think it's 2 or 3. How many times has the worst team gotten the first pick?
Yeah, I was going to say...
Never!
Okay.
See? Hasn't happened.
Yeah. See, that's why you need the Kings to win some games.
Yeah.
Because that bodes well
for
you.
I agree with you on that. LaMelo Ball, yeah. I'm not going to... There's a reason why his team doesn't win a lot of games and he hasn't been traded. Okay? That's all. Very talented player. Very talented player. No question about that. Extremely talented player.
You don't have to do the
deal.
deal. Watch. I'm doing the deal, but you don't have to do the deal.
Yeah, well, we don't even know if there's a deal to be had.
There's a deal.
There is a deal to be had.
There's always a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm making any call, or Con Kneppel, and they're not moving on from him, because that's why they would be moving LaMelo. So if there's anybody I'm calling Charlotte about, it's Mr. Chino Hills.
Whitey, just please address this. What has Ja done without Bane, Brooks, or JJJ? Well, they're on his team. What is he supposed to do? Get traded to a team that they're not on?
Yeah.
I mean, those are his teammates.
Right? I like Mustache Spider. I like what Mustache Spider.
I do too.
And here's the thing.
We started out kind of on a rocky path, but I think we're getting to the point where we're getting along.
And here's the thing. I'm not even huge on LaMelo, right? I'm not huge on LaMelo. I'm just saying if we're going to go down this second draft path, that's where I'm going. I'm not going.
I love the whole idea of the second draft.
Yeah, I'm not going with the Jaws or nobody even brings up Zion anymore. But I'm not going with any of that. That's where I would go.
Well, that's that same draft that LaMelo was in. That's Precious Achiuwa's kind of a second draft guy out of that.
Exactly.
He was 20th pick.
Exactly. So, and a lot of times second draft, that term is more so for if it didn't work out at the first spot. LaMelo really wouldn't be a second draft. Like, it's not second draft for Trae Young.
I've probably told you this before, and you may already know that. But last year, Indiana went to the finals. In 2020, they did not have a first-round pick. Last year, they went to the finals. They had 3 players in the rotation who were first-round picks in the 2020 draft, a draft in which they did not have any first-round picks because they second drafted all those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, you got to hit on those guys. Now, I don't think that's technically what the spirit of second draft would be a LaMelo thing because, again, it did work out, but just getting a guy that is already in a position where you know what he can do in the league versus trying to do everything through the draft.
To me, second drafting is this, and it is, I think we agree, it's something the Kings, and I'm sure they'd love to do it if they could. You have guys from whatever draft, and they're taken in the first round, and a lot of times teams assume this could be a real star. Then you get to a point a couple years later, you realize, nope, they're not that. But another team comes along and says, yeah, but they could still help us.
Right.
Maybe coming off the bench. Those are still valuable players. They're just not going to be the stars that the team that drafted them hoped they'd be.
Right.
But they can help you.
Yeah.
That's what Indiana did so well.
Yeah, Indiana, they not started, but they brought light to
Obi
it.
Toppin.
Right, with my guy. Now, he's my guy.
Nesmith.
Yeah. Aaron Nesmith, he was the main one. Him and Obi Toppin, they kind of headlined the second draft thing. And now, for example, Benedict Mathurin, 6th overall pick, wherever he goes, I know you don't, but wherever he goes next, that would be, in my opinion, a second draft situation for him.
Gotcha. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Oh, we had Gary, but Gary, we got tired of
Gary!
him. Sorry about that, Gary. Sorry about that. Alan, real quick here. How in the world can the 49ers, after what happened again against the Seahawks, and you've got the Rams and the Seahawks playing for the NFC title, how can the 49ers keep up in the brutal NFC West going forward?
Got to hit on your DC, and you got to
Gus Bradley. It's going to be Gus Bradley probably.
And you got to get some actual dogs, right? And McCaffrey is a dog. Don't get me wrong.
How about some dogs? Dogs are great as long as the dogs are. How about some playmakers?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You got McCaffrey, he's a dog. Outside of that,
he's a dog.
Outside of that, it gets a little squirrely. Outside of that, what does Jawan Jennings look like in a normal system without Kyle Shanahan? What does Kendrick Bourne? What does DeMarcus Robinson? I mean, these are all guys kind of floating around.
Jawan Jennings is a free agent, right?
Yeah, and he's going to be free to go. He's gone because he had opportunity to take that leap, and he didn't. Ayuk wasn't even there. So I think you got to find a way, whether it's during this, trade for A.J. Brown or somebody, you need a go-to guy specifically without George Kittle. George Kittle was kind of your guy, and that's why the wide receiver thing wasn't as obvious. But George Kittle missing so much time, and I don't know that I fully agreed with the 3-year extension for George Kittle. I'm not doing this because he got injured. I felt like that prior to, but they had to do it. Cool. But this might end up, in a weird way, the same thing I've been saying about the Warriors with Jimmy. It could help the Niners because now they're forced to just kind of do things in a more traditional way. I know the Chiefs have Travis Kelce, and that's how they did it. But they also had Tyreek Hill. And the offense, I don't know if ever looked better than when they had Travis and Tyreek Hill. So they've kind of been hiding behind, I've been calling it the private school offense. You got to go out there. You got to get some public school kids.
Yeah, and you just got to get younger players that can play.
Yeah.
And they tried to do that last year with the defense in the draft, and they had some success. But offensively, man, their best players, you think of it, like other than Brock, all their best players have been in the league for a while now.
Yeah. And what I saw was somebody saying the typical, well, there's no way the Niners are going to have this type of injury luck next season. It's just not going to happen.
They move in their practice facility.
Well,
away from
that's you. And it's heating up too.
Away from the EMF.
The EMF?
Yeah.
The idea that the Niners aren't going to be as injured as they were last season is probably fair, right? But the idea that the Niners are going to be healthy is not as obvious as one would think when you look at the ages of the Nick Bosas, obviously George Kittle. But George Kittle had a good Achilles tear. That's where we're at now. We're talking about how good George Kittle's Achilles tear was, that he can come back.
Because where it's torn down, there's a lot of blood. There's a good blood
right, he didn't have to drill into the heel.
It'll
Drill into the heel.
It'll heal fast.
Nobody drilled into my heel.
Are you jealous because yours wasn't in a good spot?
No. I had a good tear, too. I had a better tear than his. Mine was cleaner tear. You don't have to drill into my heel either, George. So you have that. And then you have, obviously, Trent Williams, who's 47 and just continues to play. The idea that these guys are just not going to be as injured, I get it. But the idea that they're going to be healthy.
You're right.
The idea that they're going to be healthy, they're all older.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of injury, the Warriors, where they play in Chase, that obviously is too close to the EMF because Jimmy Butler got hurt last night. And the Broncos at altitude, it must have something to do with the radiation from the sun.
Right.
Bo Nix breaking his ankle.
Exactly.
That obviously is way too close to the sun.
No, but the Niners went to the Warriors game and they brought the EMF radiation and injured Jimmy.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
How
You're
crazy
right.
is that?
I stand correct. It's not crazy at all, Alan. It's scientifically
keep them away.
Solid.
Keep them away. Stay away from me.
So they're just like giving off
coming off
carriers.
Of them. Yeah. Get them away from me.
The play of the unforgettable football weekend was which one? We'll decide next. Sactown Sports.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Golden One Center this Friday through Sunday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Savings available on select opening night tickets.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hello, everybody. Talking to Chad Hoblet here of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
As the new year gets going, getting the family everywhere they need to be can be challenging, but it gets a lot easier when you save up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees. They are one of America's favorite SUVs for a reason. It doesn't just get the job done, it gets it done in style.
It's true, the Jeep Grand Cherokee continues continues to be loved by everyone I know who has one.
It's easily one of the best SUVs on the road today. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet is the place to go. From new Jeep Grand Cherokees to hundreds of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 100 vehicles under $30,000.
Time to start something new with Hoblet Dodge in Woodland. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
8,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L after 2,500 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Due to this net savings, VIN number 746-802 and 746-803. See dealer for details.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 if you want to join the show. You know, sometimes we don't put calls on if we have stuff going on, and some people don't care for that, Alan.
No.
As you well know.
No, it's like the toddler. You know, I need something, I need it now.
Yeah.
Answer.
You guys are idiots.
Yeah, answer the call now.
We appreciate you being with us and your participation. What was the play of this unforgettable football weekend? We had the run last night from your boy Fernando. We had the Caleb Williams throw at the end of regulation against the Rams. We had the controversial catch that may have cost the Buffalo Bills a chance to advance in the playoffs. What was the play of the weekend?
Yeah.
And a big kick return to open the Seahawks scoring against the 49ers.
I mean, obviously, it should be the Caleb play, but they lost, so I don't know if we can count it the same way. I'm still going to, though. I'm going to count it because it was insane. And that's the type of stuff that he was doing at USC, and you got to rein him in at times, but you know, his first season, that offensive line was questionable and he was taking too many sacks. He still has a little bit of that, but you got to make plays at times. So I feel like it has to be Caleb, even though it was in a loss.
It was one of those unbelievable plays because what do you remember what the line of scrimmage was? Because he sprinted back.
Yeah.
The pressure came and he turned. He was like a punt returner when the ball goes over his head. He's turned around and sprinted back to the 40-yard line.
Right. And then came around and finally got to started to get to his left a little bit and then stepped up. And, it was
Komet
incredible.
pushed off, but whatever.
Yeah, there was hand fighting.
Thank you, Ramsey. The ball was on the 14-yard line.
There was hand fighting.
Sprinted back.
There was hand fighting between both of them. And to be honest, Cole Komet was only in there because I think Loveland might have had something with his head because that was Komet's first target. So Loveland, it looked like he got cracked a little bit and he was a little woozy, and Komet got in there and took a couple snaps and made at that time the play of the game.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. I will say, to me, the play of the weekend was the Brandon Cooks play where the ball was intercepted by Rule that cost Buffalo a chance because it depends on which rule you're looking at, and not to get bogged down in all this, nonsense. But the NFL still doesn't know what a catch is,
right?
And that just it's depressing.
Well, then the very next day, a similar thing happened, but they were both very similar, but it comes down to camera sometimes, and very clearly you could see Devontae Adams' knee down.
Yeah, when the receiver catches the ball, then he goes to the ground, and he's down by contact, the play's over.
Yeah.
He's down. But the ruling is, no, you have to maintain the catch once you hit the ground.
Yeah.
And you have to make a football move for it to be a catch. Well, how can I make a football move if I'm falling down?
Yeah.
So anyway, not to take anything away from Denver, they got their own problems, but it was really unfortunate because to me, it just speaks to how impossible this all is to understand. By rule, you could say one thing or the other depending on which rule or part of the rule you want to apply.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I know this isn't why, and he was kind of shaken up, but I didn't think it helped that Brandon Cooks, I don't know if he was a little knocked up, but he didn't sell it at all, right?
He got up like, oh, man.
He just
what's up?
Maybe he didn't know where he was, but he just kind of jogged away.
I agree with you.
You know, I'm thinking, do you feel like
I caught it.
I think
That's a catch.
He must not have known where he was at that time. I don't know. Because he got up and I'm watching him, like, do you feel like you caught it? And it didn't look like it from that.
Yeah. But I think it's hard to argue with you. We were out to dinner, and then we came home that night, and, the game's still on. Turn it on, like, right before that play.
Right.
So it's like, how's the game going? And then turn it on, and you see that. It's like, oh, my goodness.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, there is a lot of – with the Fernando one, that was good, but that's an honorable mention to me. It was a good one, but honorable
You'll never
mention.
forget that. When he's winning Super Bowls for you guys, you'll say,
know.
I knew. You'll be telling people on the Alan Stiles show, I knew right away that he was going to be the guy to take the Raiders to the promised land when he had that run.
He does.
In the national championship game.
You know, just like a different version of it than Dylan Cardwell, but he does seem to have it in a way, Fernando Mendoza. Because even though people will get on him. It depends, right? But even though people will get on him for the post games, and he said the F-bomb, and people, whoa, what's going on here? I do think that, funny enough, going back to the conversation about LaMelo, I do think players like a more traditional leader, if you will. I think if your talent is through the roof, it doesn't matter. Right. But I think for some of these other guys that maybe their talent isn't through the roof, it does matter. Like I think Kirk Cousins, and people have compared Fernando to Kirk Cousins in a way. He strikes me as a great leader. The way he kind of conducts himself and goes about it. I know there's different ways to lead, but I do feel like he is a guy that I used to do this thing in my head, Whitey, where you would close your eyes and you would say, can I imagine, not that I was always right in this, can I imagine this team holding up to Larry O'Brien, right? Just in my mind, right? And to reverse it, can I imagine, I know Tebow, was he a bust or not, I'm not sure, but can I imagine Fernando Mendoza being a straight up bust? No. Can I imagine him winning a Super Bowl? Maybe not. But, for Raiders, just to get back to the playoffs would be nice. And that's what I see. I don't know, very similar to Saleh and the Titans. It's kind of a low bar right now for the Raiders, and I don't even know how much Davis cares about winning a Super Bowl. He just wants butts in the seats and to be competitive. And I do think Fernando Mendoza will give him that, and I think he can get them back, get a couple playoff runs. I have no clue if they'll win a Super Bowl, but I can't close my eyes and see he's out the league in 3 years. He just was a disaster.
The Raiders run the risk of falling into that trap that dooms so many teams. And the trap is this. You're a bad team. You need a quarterback. You have the first pick. There's a quarterback there. Is he good enough to be the guy who should be picked first? Or are you just picking him because we need a quarterback and he's there? At least you have somebody who should know the difference in Tom Brady who's going to be involved in the decision.
Exactly. And Tom will be able to kind of see through all the measurables and what projects, because he was somebody that got taken late. So he feels, I would imagine, Tom's another one. He's everywhere these days. We know Tom.
Oh, yeah.
When I was
delivering pizza.
Enough, Tom. It was close, very close. But in this situation, he's able to, read Fernando Mendoza for who he is. And, I would take his opinion on this for sure. So that means if they do make a move, I would, again, have to take Tom's opinion. And he's not a scout, but, he's not a GM per se, but I trust Tom to believe it, unless he's a triple agent and he just wants the Raiders to never win.
Yeah. If he's not the guy, then obviously you trade down, but it looks like that's where they're going. And there is always the short-term benefit of Raider fans or fans of whichever team has the first pick getting so excited about, here we go, we got our guy. We got our guy now.
Right. I mean, they're singing the Fernando song. Somehow they already have jerseys. I don't know how these
Which
fans...
Carmichael Dave said he'd never heard of today. Did you hear that?
No.
They were talking about Mount Fernando more. Fernando Tatis Jr., Fernando Valenzuela.
He loves to. He's done that bit a couple times.
Yeah. Now. Chris Verlade says Fernando Abba. And Dave's like, what? What's that? So,
well, now he's going to love it. He's going to... Well, he's probably... I'm sure... Well, I don't know if Chris played it in YouTube rules, but I'm sure Dave will get it and use it to his own... discretion.
So the play of the weekend, number one, Caleb Williams, number 2. Fernando's run. Distant second. I thought that was a pretty amazing run.
It was.
It's just the stakes aren't as high, although I know it was, national championship game, but they were already ahead. Caleb Williams is 4th down. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably number 2 just because the catch situations, they're up there for different reasons because of what they represent versus the actual plays. Even though that was a really good play by the safety or DB on the Bills play. But yeah, I'll probably say Fernando number 2.
So now we got a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 1 seed, and a 5 seed left. So 2 1s and a 2 and a 5.
Yeah. Win your division, folks. It's that simple.
It's a tough division. That NFC West is a tough division. That's probably why Robert Sala's like, I ain't taking the Arizona job.
Right.
Tennessee's not that great. I know, but I ain't taking the Arizona job.
No, you can't. There's no reason to do that. Why do that to yourself?
Right. When we come back, how many wins is too many wins for the rebuilding Kings? We'll crunch the numbers and get you ready for game night next on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
They do not know what Sactown brings. When on the low, that's a Sactown thing. Talking about us, it's a bounce out thing. Must they forgot we some Sacramento Kings. Whole squad going crazy, yeah, we back with it. Northern Cali going crazy, one sack winning. If you doubted us,
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Are you ready, Alan, for the resumption of the Kings season tonight against the Miami Heat? We got game night coming up, bottom of the hour. The Kings getting close to wrapping up this long homestand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why it was funny. We were just joking about me going to the game tomorrow, and I'm trying to figure that out because normally I'm done earlier, and I just mob on over there. So, yeah, do you want to carpool?
I don't think I'll be attending tomorrow, but otherwise, yeah, I'll think about it.
Are you going tonight?
I'm not attending this evening. I'm not, no. I got to watch Aaron Peterson.
That's true. That's true. Well, yeah, I'm going to be in the building tomorrow, but we'll talk about tomorrow. Yeah, for the game tonight, I just want to see what the cohesion looks like or lack thereof. I want to see Domantas Sabonis kind of doing his thing with the other bigs. Dylan Cardwell. You know what's funny, Whitey? I thought about this, and there are some similarities there. You remember that Drew Gilbert run for the Giants?
Okay.
About 2 weeks long. He was biting Matt Chapman's shirt and all that. This is kind of the Dylan Cardwell thing, because Chris Watkins said, I think he said it on social media, I feel like we're very close to this Dylan Cardwell thing starting to blow up, and, bigger NBA platforms noticing Dylan Cardwell, his infectious play and, his personality. And it reminded me of the Drew Gilbert thing. But the Drew Gilbert thing, he was hitting fine during that time period, but it wasn't really based on production. It was more of just the random stuff that he was doing. This run for Dylan Cardwell, for as much as, there are the showmanship things going on, I do think it's also he wouldn't be doing that stuff if he wasn't playing well, and he's doing it reacting to good plays that he has. So it reminded me of that, but this one is actually based on production.
It seems like it's more substantial.
Yes, for sure. Definitely more substantial. But I was thinking about that when Chris said that. I said, remember when everyone was talking about Drew Gilbert for about a week, and then after that, he just can't hit in general. But yeah, I want to see Dylan Cardwell as this thing starts to get steam, starts to get a little bit of expectations. Things are different. We saw this with Keon when he was playing. When you come in and you do some good stuff and you surprise some people, oh, cool, this is nice. I think we're getting to the point with Dylan Cardwell where, and I believe Doug Christie would say the same thing, there are some expectations when he goes out there.
Yeah.
You're counting on him defensively a little bit.
He impacts winning.
Exactly. So to continue to see that, he's kind of been overshadowing Maxime Reynaud a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have Dylan Cardwell. So I'm paying attention to the trifecta of centers there and what that looks like, what Doug decides to go with today. And, as they're going to have a couple different opportunities to mix some things up. As far as the guard play, Whitey, I got nothing on the guard.
Part of it is on Dylan Cardwell getting more attention than Maxime now. Part of it is just the impact he's having. He's tougher, and defense seems like something that has more of an impact. But also some of it is this. Have you ever been whale watching? Went whale watching a few years ago off in Monterey Bay. And we're out on the boat, and then all of a sudden, there's blue whales, and everyone in the boat's, everyone. It's incredible. Right. This is the largest mammal on the planet. And for, half an hour, everyone's staring at the blue whales, taking pictures. By the time, 30 minutes later, it's like, and then someone says, "Look over there, it's a humpback," and then it's like, "Whoa!" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everyone's
exactly.
like, "I've seen the blue whale,
Right?
I've seen the largest mammal on the planet, but look at that,
Yeah, there's just something else,
something different."
Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna have quite the night because that draft, the Devin Carter draft, and we still get Devin Carter texts from time to time. We're always gonna find some time to talk about Devin Carter, but I bring him up because we're gonna get a trip from Khalil Ware. So you have an opportunity tonight. You got Bam Adebayo at center. You got Khalil Ware, who, sometimes they play him together, sometimes he backs him up. So I want to see that center trifecta against an above-average center. I don't know if we're calling Bam elite still, but he's on the fringe right there, a fringe elite center in Bam, and one of the good young players in this game in Khalil Ware that Eric Spoelstra is always mad at, but we know he can play.
Here's something that I think we have to say Scott Perry may have gotten right. And I couch it only because, the team is they're 12-31, so let's not get carried away. I'm sure even he would admit that. But you look at where the front court is compared to where it was at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And also consider that Keegan's not playing right now because he's hurt. And, you got Precious has played really well. Reynaud has played well. Dylan Cardwell's played well. All of a sudden, it's like, man, that's like an NBA front court they have.
Yeah.
That they didn't used to have.
Exactly.
I know it's not paying off in wins. It's not translating into wins, but that's nice work.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that, again, time machine. Well, if we had this at this time, can't do that. Can't do that. Just got to enjoy it now. But one thing that you can do is look toward the future and see how this thing fits in. I am not in the camp of specifically moving anyone on the Kings. I just want to move someone or someone.
You would move whoever you had to move to get LaMelo, right?
Well, don't get
Am
me
I
in
right?
trouble.
I'm asking. I'm just asking.
Well, it depends on the draft capital. But depends on the draft capital. I'd be interested. But yeah, I think they're
not a great
be...
shooter, by the way, LaMelo.
What do you mean by that?
Just, you look at his numbers. He's not a great. He likes to shoot, and he's a decent three-point shooter. But his
down year.
Years.
It's a down year.
Down year.
Why? We got to get ready for the game.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah.
But yeah, there are going to be some opportunities there as far as the guard play is concerned. I mean, you can help me out here, but what are we supposed to look at? Like, what are we supposed to pay attention to? DeMar DeRozan? Obviously, you got Precious doing his thing, but there's nothing from the guards. Yeah, cool. If Neek gets to play, he played 13 minutes last game. I don't care at all about what these guards do. I don't care about the backcourt at all.
I'm a little surprised that there hasn't been more interest in Malik from other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having a really good year. So, that's one thing that stands out about the guards. But as you look at the Kings and the fact that they won 4 in a row, and some fans were starting to get a little antsy about, how many wins is too many wins? I put some together, crunched some numbers, and put some together at SactownSports.com about that. Just to answer that question, how many wins is too many wins for a rebuilding team? So there are a lot of numbers that support the argument that you can't count on the lottery.
Right.
You should win as many games as you can. Here's what we got. Since 2019, and that is the first year the lottery odds were flattened so that the bottom 3 teams got the best odds. Since 2019, the most wins by a team that ended up winning the lottery was Dallas last year. 39 wins, they won the lottery.
Dang.
Yeah. The team with the second most wins to end up with the top pick was Atlanta the year before with 36. These are teams that they were nowhere near the bottom 3. So there have been 7 draft lotteries since 2019. How have the bottom 3 teams over those 7 years fared? You've had 9 of those 21 teams. The 21 teams, they all finished in the bottom 3. Only 9 of them actually earned a top 3 pick. So less than 50%. Of the 3 teams with the worst record have earned a top 3 pick. Only 4 ended up with the first pick. And since 2019, the NBA team with the worst record has never earned the number 1 pick in the draft. Because they flattened out the odds. They're trying to discourage tanking. What they end up doing is you have maybe more teams tanking because everybody gets that equal shot, not a great shot. And what happens is the bad teams that need those top picks, they don't get them.
They don't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if the Pacers pull this off, that would be incredible. But right now, I think they're on the track to, based on your calculations, to not get the top pick because they're probably going to have the worst record. But even if you give that team a top 3 pick, you know what I mean? That's that you have just extended your quote unquote window, if you will, and probably put yourself in a good situation because there were a lot of questions from that Pacers team with guys that got injured before Halliburton did on other teams for them to get there.
Right.
So it's funny how everything kind of just circles around itself. So, I mean, with that being said, Whitey, you know, there shouldn't be a ton of fans out there that are sitting here hoping for their team to lose. I know some fans just don't have that in their being, in their fandom. I know some fans do. But ultimately, you just go out, enjoy what they're doing, and chances are they are going to lose. So, you know.
Let me ask you to spitball. No wrong answer. It's your opinion. How many games do you think the Kings win this year? We're not going to hold you to this, so it's not like, ugh.
So they're at 11 now?
They're at 12-31, so they've played 43 games, so they're about halfway through. They were, I think, at the halfway point, I think they'd won 11. Yeah. Obviously, you win 11 both halves, you win 22.
So it's so weird just because we don't know what's going to happen.
Of course, it's impossible to answer.
Make any moves, just, again, go check out April and the end of March a little bit too. But if they don't make any moves, I think they could get to 30.
Okay.
If they don't make any moves.
Fair enough. The most wins by a bottom 3 team since 2019. Again, 2019 is when they flattened the odds. The most wins by a bottom 3 team since 2019 is 23.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pistons tanked their way to 23 wins in 2022. However, they ended up picking 5th. 3 teams have earned top 3 odds with 22 wins, only 3 times. So that would appear to be the number, based on the last 7 years. Yeah. You get around 22, 23 wins, history says you're in serious danger of falling out of the bottom 3.
Yeah, and 30 might be too high, to be honest with you, but to that point, even if you're at 27, you're in a tough situation. I know I keep referencing it, so I'm just going to bring it up here, Whitey. It's really the second half of March and then just the end of the season. So I'm going to go through March for you, Whitey. So they're at Lakers, and then they host the Suns. They host the Pelicans. They host the Bulls. They host the Pacers, host the Hornets, at Clippers, host the Jazz, host the Spurs, host the Sixers, host the Nets, go to Hornets, go to Magic, go to Hawks, go to Nets, go to Raptors, host the Pelicans, host
Some of
the
those
Clippers.
games could be brutal.
Yeah.
You could have teams trying to out-tank each other.
Right. Then you have a little baseball two-gamer with the Warriors, the 2 games before the last game. So you go to the Bay, and then the Warriors come here, and then the last game you go to Portland. But that little feels like they play the Nets and Hornets 4 times.
It sounded like it.
And so that's March and to end the season in April.
Yeah. And as you said, it's impossible to predict any which way, but especially when you don't know how different the roster is going to look because there's a legitimate chance that they're going to shake things up and actually move off some of the veterans and bring in younger players.
Right.
So, yeah. But right now, at 12-31, you could look at that and go, all right, if you want to finish bottom 3, getting a little dicey.
Yes. Yeah, and if that's the kind of the main goal, I mean, they could come out. The Heat are so weird. You just never know what they're going to do. They got smacked last night. So they're on second half of the back-to-back across the country. So you would think, honestly, Whitey, that does bode well. I got to look at the line. It probably, I don't know, might be Heat by like 3 or something, not a ton. But, yeah, they had, prior to losing to the Warriors, though, the Heat beat the Thunder on Saturday.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, there was a close game against the Celtics, but they lost.
So this is 3 games and 4 nights for them?
Yeah.
Light the beam. Beam Boys. We haven't talked to you yet, gotten your views on the Beam Boys.
Oh, my goodness. I think it's incredible. And I was wrong because I didn't know whether or not Precious Achiuwa was in the Beam Boys
yet. He's a Beam Boy.
He is a Beam Boy.
Yeah.
So I got that confirmation.
They were one of the wins, maybe it was the last win, they were getting ready to light the beam, and Maxime was like, Precious.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking here. And, yeah, kind of the picture they have, the 4 Bean Boys. It's Precious Achiuwa, Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell, of course, and Nick Clifford. How do you think Nick Clifford feels? Right? After everything that happened, you trade into the draft to get him. He is the least talked about rookie on this team. Mm-hmm. And it's not about whether you're getting talked about or not. He ain't playing. Not enough. But who would have thought?
Presumably, and hopefully, someone has talked to him and said, look, we've got a lot of guards right now, and we know you can play up a little bit. You can play some 3, but we still consider you primarily a guard. Mm-hmm. We want to see Anik. We want to see you run point a little bit. Can't do that right now, but please be patient. You're a big part of our future. You're one of the guys who, you're untradeable as far as I'm concerned. I'm Scott Perry, by the way.
Right.
And don't forget about my podcast.
Right. Now
and be patient. You're going to get your shot.
Now go sit down.
Go sit down. You're not playing tonight.
With that being said, you can keep your warm-ups on. But we will get you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the picture of them, the Bean Boys, and I thought we spent so much time on Nick Clifford. And, again, I think he found himself in a tough situation because I believe that he was drafted to help this team sneak into the playoffs. And when that didn't happen and they decided to keep their 35-year-olds, there's just nowhere for him to go.
My guess is he was drafted for both because I still think Scott Perry was looking at both eventualities. This guy could help us in the rotation this year if we're doing stuff. If we don't, then we've got a good young player.
Of course.
To build on.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he turns 24 next month.
And remember also, he idolized Russell Westbrook. So he's now practicing every day against Russell Westbrook. So, that'll make you feel a little better about not getting your minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Man, look at him go. Hey, scoot over.
Hey, Russ, remember that time you had that triple-double?
Yeah. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
I was watching you on TV.
Yeah. I mean, we thought it was going to be kind of his world. And, again, we made guesses about Rookie of the Year and all-rookie team. And who would have saw Maxime Reynaud is the one on track for this. And if it wasn't Maxime Reynaud, it'd be Dylan Cardwell on track for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like what Dylan Cardwell is doing is repeatable. The rebounds are consistent, and, he offensively doesn't have much game, but he's, he had 12 points in the last game. He's getting a lot of putback opportunities, and they're throwing him lobs, so he's never going to, be probably a 15-point scorer in the league, but he is having an impact on things, Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really intrigued. They might get on the TV tonight. They might get on the main TV tonight.
Off the phone and on the main TV?
Yeah, just for Khalil Ware. Because I want to see what happens there. He's coming off the bench. They're going to be matched up a good bit.
Because you're looking for something to complain about, aren't you? You want to say, they should have drafted Khalil Ware, I told you.
Well, they should have, but that's not what this is about now. This is about the future. And I want to see how they stack up. Maybe I don't need Khalil Ware anymore. We got Dylan Cardwell.
That's right. He can't make this team.
Yeah. Maxime Reynaud. If Maxime Reynaud makes the 3 tonight, I don't need Khalil Ware.
Do you hope the Kings end up trading DeMar to the Warriors?
As
Shams suggested, the Warriors could be considering. I hope they do from the standpoint of I think it'd be great for DeMar to finish his career potentially, in another year or two with a team that people are focused on, a team that has a chance to win more games. I think it'd be good for him to get out of this situation, which has not turned out to be what he thought it would be when he signed up. I think the Kings could get the guy they want, for better or worse. I'm not overly thrilled with the idea of, the number 7 pick in the 2021 draft coming here, but it would be fascinating.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see how that goes and how involved and excited people get about it. So I'd like to see something along those lines. If Keon has to go,
I literally was going to ask you, and you're still in if Keon is involved. Because I just don't see the Warriors doing it straight up.
Well, it's going to, at this point, I don't know how you keep him. You keep him for the rest of the year, and then he says, see you later.
Do we have a report? Is he back, Keon? Get on out there.
I would have to check on that.
Yeah. Get on out there, Keon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because, whether you keep him or not.
At this point, if they are seriously close to any sort of potential deal and it involves him, I don't think we're going to be seeing him for a while. You know how that goes.
That's what what's funny, I got a call to Michael Scotto to get him on the Drive Guys show, but when we had him on the midday show, the conversation was about Malik Monk and the whole they're protecting the asset type deal, and the whole idea was when people do that, it's very close. It's going to happen much closer to the deadline. So to your point, Whitey, he was saying the Malik Monk thing, I think, is really just Doug or whoever you want to call his decision for a basketball purpose. Not, you don't sit somebody for 2 months, right?
Yeah.
But now, with the trade deadline, how close we are now is the time where you will see some of that. And that was what the Warriors' plan was with Kuminga. But now this is around the time where you're right. We could maybe have seen the last of Keon. By the way, this was 21 hours ago. Keon Ellis is no longer listed on the Kings injury report. He's missed the last 2 games due to knee soreness. He will be available when the Kings host the Miami Heat on Tuesday from Sean Cunningham.
Quick look at the draft lottery, the way it would set up right now. You got New Orleans with the worst record in the league at 10-35, Indiana 10-34. So they're half game out of the worst record. And then Washington at 10-32, a game and a half. The Kings 3 games out of the worst record, if you will, out of first in this upside-down world of the lottery. So they are in 4th right now, 3 back in New Orleans for best record, and they're just 1 ahead of Brooklyn and just 2 ahead of Utah.
Just go ahead and hit that simulation.
You have to do it. Can you do
go
it?
Ahead.
Yeah. You go ahead. That's your bid.
All right.
Alan had been doing his, as you probably know, I know you listen to his show and watch his show, his daily draft simulations, right?
Yeah,
You haven't done those
the
in a
Tankathon.
while.
All right.
Jay says, nope, not doing that on my watch.
We're not doing it.
Yeah.
But we're doing this, though.
Yeah?
Drop down to 5.
Okay.
This is real. This is reality, people.
Well,
this is why you got to lose games.
That's the way the lottery is set up.
Let me run it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Drop to 6.
Yeah. Like I said, look at that piece I slapped together and put on the website. That happens a lot to everybody.
And now they went down to 7.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They have not gone above 6. Okay, there we go. With the 3rd pick in the NBA draft.
And that'll be Cam Boozer.
The Kings cannot select Darren Peterson.
Peterson's going to go first. I would bet you right now, unless he gets hurt again, he'll go first. Domantas is going to go second. And then that could flip-flop, but Boozer's going to go 3rd. I would bet money on it. We still got a ways to go, and I know they got to play the rest of the seasons and play in the tournaments. But again, it's incredible. I know I said this earlier, and you may know this if you follow this business. Cam Boozer in most years would be consensus number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And this year he's trending 3rd.
He was. I mean, he was. I remember watching him over the summer, and they knew he was going to be up there, but the other name was
He's
Domantas.
second on this Tankathon.
It's Darren Peterson who, for me, he came out of nowhere, relatively speaking, right? When a musical artist pops up, hey, they came out of nowhere, but then the people that have been fans say, no, this person has been putting out a lot of music for a long time. It just wasn't mainstream. Darren Peterson, I'm sure, has been, a name, but just wasn't really mainstream, at least not to me, Whitey. It was Cam Boozer and AJ Domantas, and now Darren Peterson has come out of nowhere. And those guys scare me, by the way. I like going with the traditional, this is the guy we've talked about for 4 years. I like that guy.
Yeah, but now if you're talking about a guy for 4 years, he's in junior high when you start talking about him.
Well, hey, Cam Boozer basically was, all right? But I like that guy. I like my AJ Domantas. I like my Cam Boozers. Darren Peterson, who is this guy? Flash in the pan.
Who he is. He's a guy who C.J. McCollum says could have played in the league last year.
Okay, well, C.J., he's got bigger fish to fry.
He could have played in the league last year when he was in high school. Darren Peterson's a guy who last year he was playing in a high school all-star game, and Domantas was on the other team. And at the time, so I guess this was last summer, Domantas was considered the number 1 prospect, and Peterson was second. So Peterson's like, I got something to prove. So Domantas scores 45 points. Peterson scores 61 and hits the game winner and says, I had to do something. He was ranked ahead of me. I had to show him.
That's a cool story.
It's all true, Alan.
It's a cool story. No, I don't doubt that it is. But, how tall is he?
He's listed at 6'6". I'll bet you he's like 6'5". If he's 6'6".
You think he's actually a point guard? Or are you – is he Anthony Davis, or excuse me, Anthony Edwards?
He's not Anthony Davis.
He's not. Is he Anthony? Well, not playing as much. Is he Anthony Edwards to you? Is that what this is?
He's not quite as big, but he is wiry, strong. I mean, he's strong. He gets to the basket. He can also, the spot-up threes, he's probably a better shooter than Ant was at this stage. Spot-up threes. Pull-up threes, he's like, needs work.
Well, that's what the game is.
Well, I understand that. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But on spot-up threes, he's really a good shooter.
You know why I know that? Because that's all his highlights are.
Really?
Yes.
Spot-up, well, you should. All the highlights I see is when he fakes this way and goes out and gets to the basket.
Yeah.
All the time.
Won't take any of the three. These are champagne problems.
I think you're right. About that. Domantas is probably a little more raw, but I think it was Sean Farnham said Domantas to me is number one because he has the higher ceiling than either of the other two guys. But you asked if Peterson's a point guard. It's funny. Who cares what I think? But you read what the scouts are saying, and a lot of it is, well, what's a point guard anymore anyway?
Right.
You know?
Right.
As far as what point guards are in the NBA now, yeah, he can be that, which tells you, all right, there's some questions.
Right. But does he play make?
He can, but it's not something he does a lot.
Right.
Because he makes plays for him.
Yeah, I am the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a fair question.
Well, that's the only thing I'm asking, right? Because really none of those three guys at this point, I mean, Ant has gotten better at playmaking. I wouldn't say Ant was a pure playmaker. He's not a point guard. But all three of those guys, will they be primary, not Boozer? He ain't going to be a primary ball handler, I don't think. It's Darren Peterson.
He better not be.
No. Darren Peterson and AJ. But that's why he got.
He is averaging almost 5 assists a game.
But that's why he got the Paolo Banchero comparisons. I don't know. Paolo should be the primary ball handler. But Darren Peterson and AJ Domantas, those are the two guys that you're looking at as these, okay, do we have our guy that kind of takes care of the point guard question?
By the way, to your point about playmaking, raw numbers can be really deceiving, but let's just look at them. 4th on this mock draft, Caleb Wilson. He's a forward, North Carolina. He's averaging 3.2 assists per game. 3rd on this list is Domantas. He's 6'9" forward. He's averaging 4 assists per game. 2nd is Cam Boozer, power forward Duke, 4.5 assists per game. Darren Peterson, number 1, shooting guard, point guard, 2.8 assists per game.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
He
the
ain't
game
out there looking for other people.
No, I am the play.
And if you could score like him, you wouldn't either.
That's true.
It would be irresponsible for him to be passing the ball.
I get you.
Watch him tonight, Alan.
I will. I have no choice.
We're back with you tomorrow. We got more Kings basketball tomorrow.
That's right. After a W tonight?
Yes.
You want that?
Bean Boys. I could do without it, frankly.
Bean Boys.
I enjoy it when everyone's feeling good about things.
Hype hands. Are we going to see the hype hands tonight?
That's right. Thank you, Ramsey. Thanks for being with us. We're back with you tomorrow. Stick around. Game night is next on Sactown Sports.
Tell them like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. If you reppin' that Kings like the beam now. Sack proud, make sure everyone knows. Let me tell you how this thing really goes. Yeah, we travel deep, whether we home or on the road, we lit. You don't want that smoke, we the team of the year. We shaking things over here, don't doubt, we believe over here. We don't bleed over here. And let me just speak real clear, only deal with real Kings over here. So tell me what you see now. Coming down the lane off the rebound. It's 9-16 now. Look toward the sky like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the